Hey everybody! Welcome back to the
Heyo.
ABCs of RPGs, where we teach you the basics of tabletop role-playing games. My name is Spencer. I'm going to be the game master for this evening, and we are playing the Dune RPG. But of
No, we're
course,
not.
I'm joined by my players, Christian.
Hello, everybody. I'm Christian. I'm playing Arachne, um, and I am sort of a assassin of House Abercrombie, and yeah, we're having some fun with Dune, and it's been very much a Dune month, so it's been fun to kind of live in the world and between board games and RPGs and movies and all of that.
Has anyone here seen the Dune 2 movie yet?
Yeah.
I have
Oh
not.
yeah,
I
Is
have
it
not
is it is it
seen-
a thumbs up? Like
Thumbs.
should I
Double
Okay.
thumbs. Yeah, very good.
yes.
I barely remember the first Dune.
Oh, the David Lynch?
No, I remember that vividly. I watched that at least once every 5 years. Because I always run into somebody who's like, "No, what the heck?" Especially before this came out.
Yeah.
You know, the world pre-Chalamet staring quietly and solemnly Dune.
Yeah.
There was a bright, vibrant Dune made by a wonderful director called David Lynch.
Yeah, who described doing the movie as a nightmare.
I'm sure it was.
But speaking of Justin, can
Yes.
you introduce yourself and your character?
Hey, everybody. My name is Justin. My pronouns are he, him. Then I am playing a character named Stabby McWitchface.
Anna Margrave.
Anna Margrave is her name. She is pronounced she, her. She is a Bene. Am I saying that right, or is it Ben?
Benny
I thought it was
Gesserit.
Bene
I believe.
Gesserit.
Bene
Yeah.
Gesserit. Yeah.
Bene Gesserit. Okay, a Bene Gesserit novice.
Beginner spooky witch.
Yeah, she's the beginner spooky witch. I wanted to, but they're weird. I mean, they're not really. I mean, it's. Well, you'll see it. You'll see, audience. You'll see. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And then, of course, we have Nye.
Hey, that's me. I'm Michael or Mike or Nye or Sunshine. You'll hear lots of different names. If you don't know who it is, it's probably me. I'm going to be playing as Shara Fell in our campaign. She is a Mentat. Mentats, for those of you who don't know, are basically human supercomputers in the world of Dune. She just got out of Mentat school and she's ready to make a name for herself.
Yeah.
So.
That's perfect. Well, there's a couple things I think we should cover before we do like the recap and everything. So one of the first things is something we do every session, and that is to ask a get to know you question for each of your characters. And this week we rolled a D260 and got a 176, which this is, do you think our dreams have hidden meanings? So this is for your character. Does your character think that dreams have hidden meanings?
Shara, big time. No.
Big time no.
No.
I mean that makes sense for a mentat. She's like, no, they're just your consciousness like making stuff
Things are either facts or they're not. Dreams are not fact.
Oh, perfect. What about Anna or Arachne?
Oh, Anna. I mean, maybe hidden meanings if you don't know how to control your dreams and shout out your consciousness into the astral plane. You know, like a plebeian.
Like a plebe.
We're bringing out the big words tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's Anna. Anna is well educated and very snobby.
Yeah.
Not outright mean, but she will make you feel very bad about yourself.
she will make you feel bad about your standing in society.
Yeah, sometimes not even intentionally. You know, filter. There is a reason why they sent Anna out to this like remote planet, and I am not helping one of the big houses.
Yeah.
What about you, Arachne?
Arachne isn't super high on faith and kind of like, finding meaning outside of like consciousness, I guess. And what is in front of him, but I would say that, I mean, it's possible that Arachne, upon coming to Arrakis, and with the spice and everything, has made him reconsider certain things, because it definitely has altered his mind a little bit, being in close proximity to Spice Melange. So some weird dreams have been going on there.
Man.
But they're just dreams.
Just
right?
dreams, right? Yeah. Definitely not seeing the future or the past or anything like that. Anywho, so thank you all for answering that question about getting to know your characters. The first thing I wanted to go over is something we didn't cover last week, and I think it's important, and that's covering character advancement in Dune. If anybody is following along at home, this is page 138 through 139. It's a pretty short section, but the important thing is that as we're kind of playing along, we should be keeping some things in mind, because you may be getting advancement points. And getting these advancement points, you can, after an adventure, cash them in to upgrade either your skills, a focus, a talent, or an asset, which is pretty cool. So they say at the beginning on page 139 that gaining an advancement point, one of the first things you can do, they call it adversity. So you can gain advancement points from facing difficult situations, making mistakes, and suffering the consequences of actions. Failure is a harsh teacher. And just to kind of like iterate more on that, the next 3 bullet points they kind of talk about is pain, failure, and peril. So pain, gain 1 advancement point. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Nye.
My favorite.
Your favorite pain?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, pain is a harsh teacher. You gain 1 advancement point when you are defeated during conflict. We'll probably go over some conflict today, now that your guys' rival house has showed up. But defeating doesn't mean that your character is killed off, necessarily. And there's a few different things you can do to make sure they're still in the fight, or at least still in the story. But you, if you ever are defeated during conflict, you do get an advancement point that way. Another thing is just failure. You gain an advancement point when you fail a test with a difficulty of 3 or higher. Which I know you guys, for the most part, there wasn't any outright tests that were above a 2, I believe, last session.
We had one, but Mike got it.
Mike got it. Okay. There was...
Not to brag.
I did...
No, you had to use one of your talents to get it.
Yeah.
It was a pretty close call, but you got it.
I will say, if you guys remember, there was 2 different tests that I did secretly and didn't tell you what the difficulty was for the test. And I will say...
You held secrets from me?
I did. I very
I'm
much
hurt.
did.
I quit. If you're gonna laugh at me, I'm gonna quit.
And I've been hoarding this threat all along too. Anyways, and there was one of those secret tests that were a difficulty of 3 or higher, and you guys did not pass it. So everybody should get a 1 advancement point for doing that.
Yeah, we failed. Woo!
That's okay. Failing is part of getting better at things.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And sometimes you just fail, and it's nobody's fault.
Yeah. The last bullet point they say, at least for getting advancement points, is peril. So you gain 1 advancement point whenever the game master spends 4 or more points of threat at once. That hasn't happened yet because I haven't spent any threat yet, but that's something important to keep in mind if something happens. So
that's the equivalent of D&D, of just like, oh, your DM tries to fuck you, have a level up.
Here's a free level for you. Oh. Another thing, it says ambition. You gain advancement points whenever you succeed at an action which supports your ambition. This does not require a skill test, but if the action involved a skill test, the test must have been successful. You receive 1 advancement point if the action made a minor contribution to your ambition, or 3 if the action was a major contribution to your ambition. And I believe ambition is kind of your overarching goals and everything in Dune, if I remember correctly, during character creation. So that's something to keep in mind, because that's a big one for advancing your character. So, last but not least, if the group wants to reward an especially good plan, role-played scene, or other especially noteworthy contribution, the player in question may be given an extra advancement point. Such rewards should be restricted to 1 per session for any player. That is called impressing the group. And so with that,
Oh, really? So you can just be like, hey, that was cool earlier. You deserve an extra experience point.
I think this is definitely
you can
a good
just
one.
do that.
Yeah, I think this is definitely.
But they can only get the one from like the one volunteer, and anybody in the group can award it, right? We don't have to like come to a consensus to award the thing.
It says if the group wants to reward an especially good plan, but I mean, like, I like to think.
I guess you could say no if you really want to just not be cool.
Right. What were you gonna say?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So that last bit, sound, again, my head thinking like D&D terms, right?
Yeah.
That last bit sounds like inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
And the beginning stuff sounds like failure of just various kinds.
Yes.
Is there a reward for doing good outside of the inspiration of just like winning combat?
Wait, wasn't that the 1 or 3 point boost that we were talking about? Like if you did something that you was like, it fulfilled your ambition. Like, so for example, Anna was trying to get this group of people to come work for our house. And expand our influence, because like, who cares? Like, as long as they're in our pocket, like, that's good.
So you either have to fail badly, succeed goodly, or get inspiration.
Well, yes.
No, I'm gonna say goodly. I'm sticking with that.
Well, both do. Failure. It says failure is a harsh teacher, but it does teach you stuff. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to it sounded like you either had to do bad or get inspiration, and it didn't really feel like there was a lot of, oh, you did good, you get like a level up. It's just like, oh, you did good. Pat on the back, buddy. Good job.
Great job.
I mean, that makes sense though in this game. Like, one of the things you might end up doing is like launching a surprise attack, but turns out they knew it was coming the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, maybe you have to roll up some new characters.
Yeah.
But the ones that survive learn an important lesson, and maybe it leads to. I mean, I as a DM would definitely make sure there was a mole. That was what happened. But that's the whole point of this game. It's it's a lot of intrigue and whatnot.
Yeah, espionage. That's like a main part of it. So, but speaking of impressing the group, does anybody want to nominate anybody from last week to receive that advancement point? Did anybody think that somebody came up with an especially good plan, role-played a scene, or other especially noteworthy contribution with last week's session?
I'll go with Arrakis, having the idea of just like sneaking up top the mountain to kind of
Arachne? Yeah.
Be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't know who's in the chat right now, but yes, we're fucking talking about Dune.
Oh,
okay.
Rated. Hey guys.
I don't know what that means to be rated, but yes, we're talking about Dune.
We are talking about Dune. Actually, we're playing a Dune tabletop RPG right now. If you want to see how it goes, we cover various RPGs, usually tabletop. And we teach people how to play on the stream. Like, you kind of watch us do that. And we also have a YouTube channel that you can visit where there's a little bit more concise videos on how to, cover some of these tabletop games. We play a lot of independent studios. Our first one was, of course, D&D, but, we're having a lot of fun with a lot of independent games and smaller, kind of major studios.
It was Bubbly Jules. Bubbly Jules rated us with a party of 31. So thank you so much, Bubbly Jules, and happy to have you guys in. Yeah. So,
Welcome.
like just was saying, we cover a variety of different like tabletop RPGs. A lot of our backlog is on YouTube if you want to look us up. But yeah, we're in our second session of the Dune RPG, and very excited to kind of get back into it because you came back at a great time. We just covered using advancement points. So yeah, guys, there are different. You can spend different advancement points for skills, focuses, talents, and assets, which can vary because creating an asset is only 3 advancement points, but a skill is like 10. It really factors into like what kind of contributes to the game, but definitely check that out. So, but without any further ado, now that we have our newly rated people in the chat, let's go ahead and give a recap on what happened last session.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, so we are a minor house on the planet Arrakis, which I'm sure some of you watching are familiar with if you're Dune enjoyers. We are a minor house of secret assassins. Our cover is that we are simple spasacado farmers, which is a space avocado like plant with blue fruit instead of green fruit. And it grows very pretty. What did we say? They were like magenta leaves.
Thought it was violet.
Or it's deep red. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a fuchsia,
Ultraviolet.
violety red.
Yeah.
Fuchsia.
Yeah.
That was it.
Fuchsia.
See, y'all, you get to come, you get a little art history lesson too. It's fun. But we actually refine down the petals of these leaves into a deadly poison. We found out we also have a few spice mines in the area as part of our house. It turns out that we had some unscheduled visitors at one of our spice mines. So we, after a kind of rocky ride, got to this camp where these people agreed to pay us for our spice.
Slightly begrudgingly, but they did.
Well, we made them an offer they couldn't refuse, and now they work for us a little bit. But they get to keep some of their money, and they are unharmed.
Yeah.
And as we were kind of negotiating the finer points of this agreement, I think we were getting shot at.
No,
an ornithopter.
The rival house, showed
the
up.
Ornithopter comes out of the sky and
blew up our ornithopter.
Yes.
Blew up our ornithopter.
They haven't shot at us yet.
Yeah.
But they blew up our ornithopter, and we were all just like, "Hey, you know what would be a good idea?"
And it disagrees about what is shooting at us and what is not. But
in the cave.
Yeah, so we go into the cave. Anna has a gun to the spice smugglers. Corvus, yes, has a gun to this guy's head because she believes he has double-crossed the group, and she's real mad about it.
Yeah, and that's where we're kind of picking up. So on screen, we currently have 5 points of momentum that you guys have, 5 out of the 6, and I have currently, I believe, 6 points of threat that we got from the beginning. Everybody who's just joining us, go ahead.
Oh yeah, go for it. No, Game Master, please explain.
Oh, all I was going to say is that all that means is that we're playing a system. Modiphius is the guys who make the Dune RPG. They have a 2d20 system that they use across their system. So if you think of D&D like 5th edition, this is kind of like their own version of their tabletop game that they use different IPs for. And so momentum and threat is something that is kind of used to like add additional dice and everything, which we'll kind of go over later. But what were you going to say, Justin?
Well, I was going to explain about momentum and threat real quick, because this could be... So momentum and threat, if any of our viewers have ever played D&D, this kind of works like advantage for the players as a group. They share a pool, and the DM gets his own kind of pool of advantage dice.
I'm going to interject. There are some caveats to, like, what you can use it for. So like sometimes it is somewhat advantage, but like you can also like double advantage. You can triple advantage. But the first one costs 1, the second one costs 2, the third one costs 3. Pros and cons. There are some other things you can spend momentum for. Other than just like rolling. but we can also make momentum in exchange for threat, which the DM can just hold on to until he decides to, screw us over, which is always a fun time. Thankfully, Spencer hasn't done that yet, but soon enough, I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah, you can think from a storytelling perspective. Momentum is something that will help the players move the story forward, and threat is stuff that will make the is a way of making the DM's pool is a way to make things more threatening for the players.
Yeah.
Anyway, so guns to heads and all this fun stuff.
Yes. Currently, to describe the scene once again, there's not much out here. There is when you approach the scene where the spice smugglers were working, there was like a rock outcropping with some caves at the bottom of it, with tents that were purchased, which were set up on top, and then like out in front of the caves where the spice smugglers were working. When you guys approached, Anna and Shara approached straight onto the camp to kind of introduce themselves, where they talked with Corbin, while as Arachne snuck around to the top of the rock outcropping on top of it and kind of held up there. Currently, like you guys described, when the enemy Ornithopter, the House Tassets Ornithopter, came in and shot your Ornithopter and blew it up and landed out, Anna and Shara took all the 4 spice smugglers that were down with you, including Corbin, into the caves and are currently hiding out there, while Arachne is currently still on top of that rock outcropping with 4 other members of the spice smuggling operation. And that's where we kind of left off. So currently, House Tacit, the Ornithopter has opened up, and they are marching out. And we described their house colors as kind of like a puke green, I think, last time. Like a very disgusting, like, off-color green, I think is what we said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of you wouldn't want to look at.
When they start marching out, I think what they'll do is they have 12 members. I think I described that before. So it's you 3 who are there. There's 8 spice smugglers, including Corbin, and then there's 12 of them that are just coming out of this Ornithopter. How 12 of them fit in this Ornithopter, not sure. It may have like a larger cargo capacity. Yes, Nye?
See, you actually kind of just touched on what I was going to ask. So 12 came out. Is there I'm gonna butcher what it's called. Ornithopter. That's the word.
Yeah.
Is there Ornithopter? Like, is it as big as ours was? Are there different sizes to Ornithopters?
I'm just gonna make a game master ruling and say there are different sizes, and this one's bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So they had a troop transport Ornithopter. We had a personal.
Yes, like a personal, like small little, like it fit you guys, and that what you're going out here. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I do want to ask, so does House Tacit, do they have a name for their individual members? Are they called maybe like Tassies or something like that?
The Tasit.
The Tassets?
No, the Tasit. Yeah, that's the plural. Yeah. House Tacit refers to themselves as the Tasit.
Christian, did you say Tassels?
Yeah, the tassels.
The tassels?
Yeah, just a bunch of,
I like it.
They wear a bunch of tassels, actually. Yeah.
Fuck! The higher rank you are, the more tassels you have!
Yeah, they're they don't make sense. Their costumes are silly.
Okay.
The guy comes he's wearing like 19 tassels. You're like, oh fuck, he's high ranking.
Oh.
So going off of that.
For this guy.
So they're kind of spreading out a little bit as they approach like the tents where you guys were negotiating with Corbin at, and there is one leading the pack. Most of these guys, if you look on their uniforms, yes, Nye?
I was gonna ask if they looked armed, but I didn't think you just stopped talking. I was gonna wait until you were like done.
So Spencer, set the scene for us, buddy.
Set the scene. So basically, they're spreading out throughout the camp, kind of like not just like to the tents, but they're also kind of like making their way outwards, like into the desert and such. They're not making their way straight up to the rock outcropping yet, Christian. So Arachne kind of is observing that. They're kind of like spreading out in like a line and moving forward, and the rock outcropping is like higher up and further back from where they're approaching it. If you look at their uniforms, they are armed, Nye. Everybody can see that they are clearly armed with Mola rifles and short blades to their sides. Yes, Nye?
What is a Mola rifle as
Great
opposed to
question.
like a modern day rifle that I, an American citizen, would be familiar with?
Yeah. There is a section in the book called Assets that is starting on page 19. No, it's before 190. No, it is 190. Okay. It starts on 189 specifically. And I will say, I did try to look this up beforehand to see what a muzzle rifle actually did and what it was kind of listed. It is actually not listed in the core RPG book, so I'm not sure if there's something specifically that's supposed to be. The closest I did find was something called a Mola pistol. It is on page
M-O-A?
194. Yeah.
Is that how you spell it?
Maula.
Maula.
Yeah. And so the Maula pistol is a assassin's weapon. These pistols have a spring-loaded trigger that can launch poison darts and other projectiles with considerable accuracy up to 40 meters. So I would imagine that the rifles are very similar to this, where they shoot where they launch poison darts, because in that same section,
yeah, just shoulder mounted, probably longer range, longer barrel.
That's what I'm imagining. So they have those, and they have small knives to their sides. And then, of course, as you notice, as is tradition of House Tasit, each of the smaller little grunts have one tassel, like, I don't know, hanging from their chest, just like hanging down right here, or maybe it's on like their shoulder. They have one tassel on their shoulder that's hanging down. However, somebody who's leading the pack has 5 different tassels hanging off their shoulder.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, he's got 5 tassels, and he's like marching up with like a troop of 5 of the 12, I think, to in the center, like where the tents were, where you're discussing with Corbin. When that person, when she gets to the tents, she actually calls out and goes, "I know you're here. We tracked you from afar."
No, we're not.
What? Yeah.
Why do you sound like Skeletor?
I look at Corbin. I go, "They're following you."
Corbin looks back at you and goes, "Are you sure they're not talking about you? You're the one who showed up in the ornithopter."
That does make more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah,
right.
even Shara being the mentat, just like, yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. Okay, so I pull my gun away from his head and make this face as I'm crouched down, and I go, "Okay, where are your weapons?
They are.
And how many of them? How big's your crew?"
Well, there's 8 of us. I think 4 were resting on top of the outcropping. There's only the other 3 down here. We have. Hold on, I want to make sure I have the right thing. They have.
Yeah, I forgot to do my transatlantic accent.
Transatlantic. It's okay. I'm still getting back into character too.
Darling.
I don't think they have any specific weapons, so I'm just gonna say that they have. While it's not advised to have this, they probably have probably about 3 Mola pistols specifically, the pistols, just for defense. So.
Okay.
I have a knife and a shield.
As do I.
They call the leader of the Tassels who have come here yell out at you and goes, "I know you're here. Step out. I want to have a civil discussion."
I swear you sound
no, thank you, darling.
Well, okay. So realistically,
that's what
Shara is cool with a civil discussion. However, before I step out, is there an equivalent of in D&D terms? Is there an insight check that I can make that I'm not gonna step out of this cave and be shot on sight kind of thing.
Yeah. We don't even have to necessarily do a skill check for that. I can just say that you like take some time to kind of analyze with like, I don't know, your mentat abilities to kind of read the facial like um like intonations, like the different facial gestures she's kind of making, and she you can tell by the tone of her voice that she doesn't have anything good in mind for you guys, but she does seem genuine that she's not going to shoot you right on sight.
I'm like stepping out and just, kind of seeing what's up, making a little bit of friendly chat.
So as you step out, the leader Tassel will probably once again just call out to you and goes, "Ah, there you are! Oh, the Mentat has decided to talk with us. Wonderful."
I mean, that makes the most sense, does it not?
One such as you would think so. I am, of course, a 5-ranking Tassel myself. She gestures to the tassels on her shoulder.
I can count. Thank you.
My name is Sushi.
Like the food?
No,
We
nothing
wouldn't
like
know
the
what
food.
that is.
Okay.
Maybe, I guess we would. Yeah, we're like regular humans that went out in space. Yeah, all right. Yeah, like the food.
It's 2 separate words. It's Sue and then she. Never mind that. You can refer to me as Tassel Master.
Hey, Sushi. Whatever floats your boat, man. You got it, TM.
Sorry, I'm just breaking right now. Well, what's going on here? It seems you've discovered somebody mining some spice.
Out of character.
Yes.
Is spice mined or harvested?
Yeah, it's
or...
harvested. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really more harvested. The spice is the dookie of the sandworm.
That's what I thought, but he said mined, and I got confused for a sec. I'm not gonna like.
You do have to like dig it out of the ground.
But I just like out of character wanted
But
to
I guess
clarify.
harvested is probably the
Harvested
better
is
word,
probably the
rather
term they
than
would actually use. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. We found we found some individuals harvesting spice in our territory, and we have since corrected the issue.
She probably like leans down into the sand and kind of pulls up like a handful and just kind of like let it like sifts through and kind of sparkle with like, you know, the spice like sparkle that you can kind of see within the desert.
Shara probably calculates like the exact dollar value that she just picked up.
Yeah, and just off the bat, just naturally. She goes, "Well, maybe we should split the spice."
Why?
I step out, eat shit.
Oh!
I kind of put my hand back of like, calm the fuck down, but like, why?
We are joined by a Bene Gesserit, I can see.
Yes.
Why
and you
would
know
we
exactly who I am, what I am.
Why would we split spice? You have no claim here.
Out of character, yes, absolutely not. You know that for a fact that not only do they not have a claim here, they should not even be on planet right now, because it's only Harkonnens and then you guys who have specifically made a specific contract with them to like section off this little section. So they are like way out of order in a lot of
I'm not even going that route. I'm just like assuming that if we have a minor contract, maybe other houses also have minor contracts in like various
possibly, yeah. They
things.
don't right
I don't
now.
know. I don't know all of House Harkonnen rules, but like I know that this isn't their spot.
Yeah.
So like,
so Tassel Master turns to you and goes, "Well, clearly I have a troop of men at my side, and I don't know how many smugglers you found, but they're not just gonna give over that spice willingly, are they?"
We
they already did.
Yeah, darling, that's none of your concern. And if we're counting numbers, how many of your little farm boys over there
Tassels.
think that they can? Well, how many? But they've got what? One tassel?
That's enough
How
for
many think?
12 men. That's 12 tassels in total. Well, 11 tassels
Yeah.
plus my 5, and then she starts rambling about how many tassels she has.
I'm thinking of the Austin Powers, where his dad shows up and he's like, "You don't even have a name tag. Do you know how many
You don't even have
grunts
an
I've killed?"
kind of. Yeah, that's a little bit what I'm doing. Well, yeah, like, what? You one tassel? I'm Bene Gesserit.
Yeah. Do
Gesserit.
you know how many?
I'm
Do you know how many
Bene Gesserit.
singular tassels I've killed in my entire lifetime?
So many. Darling, put your guns down and walk away.
You really think I'm just gonna do that? You may claim that you may be better than any single one of my men, but our numbers are greater, and I plan to use them.
I pull out the contract of like from the Harkonnen house. Is your name on this, ma'am?
Well, I mean,
What claim do you have here?
the claim is power.
Sweetheart.
Are you saying so? If I call up Lord Harkonnen, are you gonna say that? Are you gonna say that sentence?
You see some of her men kind of start to grip their rifles a little stronger, and she goes, "I know that if we can't come to a deal by slaying these smugglers and dividing the spice evenly between us, then I will just have to make sure there's no survivors to tell House Harkonnen."
Sweetheart. My sister at House Harkonnen knows I'm here. They also know that your house, is our chief enemy. Who do you think they're going to come to first?
Look,
And from what I hear, House Harkonnen passes swift and decisive judgment.
In D&D terms, I feel like that's got to be a deception check.
well, here's the thing. So, this is an excellent time to take a quick pause on kind of like the negotiations kind of happening right now.
Yeah, can I like roll let's take a look at our character sheet, you know.
I will be
my
right
duty,
back.
Yeah.
I'd say that my drive here is my duty to protect my house's lands.
Yes.
And that this is a actually I have communicate and deceit as a focus.
Yes.
I have communicate 5 and deceit as a focus.
So here's the thing. So this is a little bit more complicated of a situation, and a great time to use the conflict system that they have within the Dune RPG, because conflict is not just about fist fighting or using knives or rifles and stuff like that. It also can be used in negotiation, intrigue, espionage, all of that. So this is a good time to kind of like see how everybody's feeling, because if you start making rolls about trying to convince them to leave, we're going to enter into an extended contest between you and the leader Tassel, the Tassel Master, and kind of resolve it that way. But one of the other things, though, yeah, he's still laughing at the Tassel Master.
Sorry, yeah. I was trying to be good about that. Trying to be professional.
This
and
house is so funny.
The phrase Tassel Masters.
I love it.
Broke me.
They really are like a Saturday morning cartoon right now. But
that's fine.
Cartoon villain. But that's the thing is like they've definitely already made a negotiation. They've told you guys, hey, give us half the spice and we'll kill the smugglers. We have 12 people here. You don't. If you're gonna start to try to like make them back down, we're gonna enter into a conflict between you and the Tassel Master. Or if a few other members are just like, nope, we're not accepting this deal, let's go ahead and just take him down, then we'll go into the normal kind of like conflict and move out from there. So
I just want to say, in the lore of us breaking away, like the Akribji and the Tassets, like the house splitting, it straight up has to be because of the shit like the Tassel Master is like in the original, their twin was like, this is a really cool name for our house, and I'm just like, no, that's fucking dumb, dude.
Terrible.
What the fuck?
He just wouldn't shut up about the tassels, so we had to figure out how to make the poison.
Yeah.
We didn't even want this.
Yeah. We didn't want to break away, but like, holy shit!
Break away,
you want to be the Tassels? Look, guys, we're the Tassels! Yeah!
Stop with the look how many tassels I have, and oh, cool! Oh, look, all of our jackets have fringes and sequins. God.
Like, however long it was probably like, you do realize you're a fucking meme.
Broke this house.
The rivalry goes deep. Christian.
All because of disco fashion.
Christian, Arachne has been out on this rock outcropping, observed not only the negotiation between Anna, Shara, and Corbin, but is now...
we make fun of the tassels.
Yeah, now up there, seeing these tassels starting to kind of spread out along the sand and take up kind of positions, getting themselves ready in this position against everybody. And you do hear the negotiation and what the Tassel Master has proposed. What is Arachne thinking right now? What is he thinking?
Arachne's thinking about trying to cause a distraction. So, but if you could entertain me here.
Yeah.
And kind of give me a better idea about where I guess our ornithopter landed.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go ahead and bring up
in like comparison to where I'm at and they're at.
So, this little map here is what I recently made. So this is essentially, there's things called zones in the Dune RPG and the Modiphius' 2D20. And zones are kind of like different area locations you can kind of think of that are where, like, different zones are like where the conflict happens. So instead of having like a grid map in D&D, you instead have these different zones where characters interact and do different things at. Now, we mentioned before that they have rifles, so they may be able to like shoot from one zone to another, adjacent zones and everything, but it might be more difficult depending on like what they're shooting and how they're doing and everything. But zones are a good way to kind of, instead of having like a grid map, this is kind of like how you would move and interact with like moving on the map and doing different actions, especially when it comes to combat. So let me go ahead, let me bring on Anna. Ooh, actually, if everybody wants to bring their own characters onto the screen, that way you have control over them, we can kind of set...
What if I don't?
Then fine. Shara and Anna would be at the
That was
tents right
always
now.
allowed.
That was always allowed.
Yeah,
and then
no one's stopping you from not playing the game.
Arachne, you would be on top of this small rock outcropping. I will say that even though you are kind of like 2 zones away from the tents, you are technically adjacent to the open sand where the tassels have been kind of spreading out, if that makes sense. So these yes.
Are Anna and I like here between?
Are these green things the tassels?
Yes.
Yeah, they're that ugly puke green.
And the spice smugglers are the orange. There is not really an in-between in zones. I would just place you in the tent zone with the Tassel Master, because it sounded like you had come out of the caves and were like negotiating with them.
Like 5 feet. Are the caves like juxtaposed to the tents?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
So, does this give kind of like a better visualization of kind of like how that would look on the field?
Spencer, is there a way we can highlight which one of these is the 5?
Yes. Hold on, let me put on some tassels. Let's see, 1, 2,
Fuck you.
3,
Stop.
4,
No.
5.
No, I
There's the
hate
5
that.
tassels.
I mean, the one red dot would have been sufficient, but thank you.
No, it's got to be 5. Everybody else has only 1 tassel.
That's fine. That's fine.
Or I imagine all of her 5 tassels are like equally ugly, different colors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, they're like merit badges. You get them for doing stuff.
Oh.
So each tassel has a color.
Like one's puke
And-
green, but like one's like a weird yellow that doesn't match with it.
Yeah.
But then there's like a purple for some reason that also doesn't go with any of the other colors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the orange. I mean, the orange at
Yeah.
least is a little bit of a complementary color there. Same thing with the red. And then pink, I guess, is a little bit of a complementary color.
Yeah,
Pink
but I imagine they're just like, oh, you rank up. You just here's an orange one.
Red.
You're just like, or even better, they have like a chart. You're like, pick a tassel.
Yeah.
Go ahead, pick a tassel.
It's just like a board with random colored tassels.
Well,
They don't
because
mean
they count by
anything.
tassels. The colors
It
don't even
count.
matter.
Yeah, colors
Yeah.
don't matter. It's all about count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going back to Christian, going back to Arachne. So I would say that the caves are adjacent to you, as well as the open sand. The caves you might have to perform a obstacle test to kind of like clamber down because it's like a straight shot instead of moving like adjacent like to the other ways. In between the caves and the top of the rock outcropping, because the caves are like below it, it would be an obstacle test to get straight to the caves, but going to like the open sand, there would be no test there. I will say this destroyed ornithopter right here. The only thing that's adjacent to it really is the rival ornithopter and the tents. It's pretty out there. So those are the two that are adjacent to it. And I can draw some lines here just to kind of illustrate that. But any questions about that?
And we're out of orbitals, right? We're out of stratagems.
Yeah, you're no stratagems right now.
No spreading democracy.
Oh.
Whoops.
So
Let's spread democracy all over their ornithopter with the 3 of them right there.
I want to.
I have a
I wanna-
potential insight kind of question,
Ooh.
but I'll let Spencer do what he's doing, and then I'll.
Well, I believe Christian was explaining what he wanted to do. He was talking about creating distraction.
Go for it.
I would like to. I would like to sneak over to the destroyed ornithopter, and then I, furthermore, would like to, try and create a distraction there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess what we could do then is we could say, because it's like open desert right now, you can probably travel from one to the other. And that would probably be... So even... We're not in conflict right now. We're not in turn order and stuff like that. But there is something called, like, moving subtly. And so... Let's see here.
Mm-hmm.
It is a skill test with a difficulty of 2. And it'd probably be, since you're moving, using your move skill along with a drive. So you can go ahead... It'll be a difficulty of 2.
So I'm attempting. So I have subtle step, which means when you attempt a move test to sneak or otherwise pass unseen through an area, which I'm trying to do,
Yeah.
or when you attempt to move an asset subtly during a conflict, the first extra D20 you purchase for the test is free. So I will be purchasing a free D20, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that means I can roll 3 D20s. This is a 2D20 base system.
And to all of our new people, how the system works is that it's a little bit like you're rolling for successes. If anybody's familiar with Werewolf the Apocalypse, Christian here, for Arachne's character sheet, has 2 different has a drive and a skill. Think of that kind of like making a proficiency test in D&D 5e, where you're adding your attribute to like a skill proficiency. And basically, when he adds those two numbers together, he's rolling several d20s to try to roll under that target number that he has. So,
Spencer, you're gonna hate me.
yes, go ahead.
If you're trying to explain this, would it be beneficial? Can you share your screen of like showing a character sheet and like I don't know how hard that is for you right now.
There's character sheets in Roll20, but I don't think any of them are filled out. So
Okay.
I can show. So there's drive skills and stuff like that, but it's all blank.
Oh, hey Spencer, what about from the quick start? Show.
That's what I was thinking of. Just like pull up the quick start and just like like Shara Fell's in the quick start.
If you have it, it's not a big deal.
I don't have it available right now.
Anyway,
I have to bring stuff up.
there's
Don't worry
different
about it.
drives
Just
which are, and here so I think I can sum it up pretty quick. Your character sheet has a few things on it. Your name and house and stuff like that, what your assets are. But the real thing that we're talking about here is the kind of two metrics that really drive how conflicts are resolved in. And when I say conflict, it's kind of like any time that you would have a point of like contention or need to be need some sort of skill, some amount of skill to try and do something. So you have drive, which is why you do it, and skill, which is how you're doing. And I think that we can boil it down pretty easy that way. And that sets the number that you need to roll lower than. So that way, if you have better stats, your rolls are easier. So if you roll lower than the drive plus the skill, you succeed, and you are given what's called a difficulty class, which means the number of times you need to get a lower number than that check number. So if you have, a duty of 8 and in this instance, Christian, what's your drive?
So I am using justice as my drive. Overhearing the conversation, I believe that it is relevant to the situation because my justice, the statement for my justice, that kind of like informs if it is relevant to use for these skill checks, is those who wrong us will be brought to justice. I feel like they are kind of
they're wronging us.
Yes.
Yeah, we have like legitimate contractual legal authority over.
We're not even bullies. We're not
even bullies. We're just like, hey, this is our property. We're coming back to get it. And they're like, no, you owe us half. Like, okay, you.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah. And then so how are you? And you're moving, right? Because you're trying to sneak across the sand. So what's the justice number?
6.
Yeah.
It's in
and then you're
Roll20.
And then is it in Roll20 right now?
Yeah. So basically, the top part, the text is what Christian put. So he put his move is 8 and his justice is 6. So the total number 14. That he's trying to hit or get under is 14. Ignore the stuff below that because I was filling out his character sheet and just testing it out.
Okay.
But the top ones, as you can see, he got all under 14 and got 3 successes.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, which the difficulty was only 2.
You got 2 1s?
No. So
you got a 5 and an 8.
That's my thing. Don't worry about that. That's not what Christian rolled. Christian rolled the thing above that. That says one was a 5, one was an 8, so those are 2 successes, but one was a 17, so 0. Don't worry about that. That's like the cool thing about Roll20. They have this character sheet built in, so I was just testing that out because I just clicked move and it walked me through it. So that's really cool that it has that. But Christian just rolled 3 d20s. So because it was a difficulty 2 test, you get 1 momentum die as a part of rolling over that. So you're at max right now. You're at 6 out of 6 momentum, which is great. So we'll say that, yeah, go ahead and move your character onto the map, and then go ahead and place them at the destroyed Ornithopter. And what you're trying to do, you're saying you want to try to create a distraction?
Yeah, so I am going to spend to. So I essentially,
Please,
I am getting
please
to the
use
point where I'm
momentum.
gonna spend 2 momentum to create a trait about the scene.
Yeah.
Ooh, hey,
Uh,
Christian. I don't think anybody who's watching knows what you're talking about.
I don't
Why
know
don't
what you're
you
talking about. Please enlighten me.
Why? Yeah. Why don't you explain what creating a trait does, please?
Sorry, I'm trying to
No,
get
it's
my
okay.
Okay.
character
We're
on
My
here.
immersion!
we're new playing this game, and one of the nice things that people get to watch us do is make idiots of ourselves
Yeah.
as we try and figure out how to play tabletop RPGs. We crack jokes and sometimes make highbrow references, and sometimes talk about art. It's a good time.
I don't
time.
talk about art. Fuck art. Art
What?
sucks.
How do
Art
I get
makes
my
me happy.
character out here?
I'm an
Art makes me
engineer.
happy.
I don't believe in art.
Well, okay, but
So
like,
Christian, go to the handout, and then if you
I don't
see
think you're
characters,
defining art correctly.
you should see Arachne. You should just be able to grab your name and drag your character out token out onto the map.
There we go.
Cool.
There we go. Okay.
Sorry, as you were saying, Justin.
I was just talking about how mathematics and art are synonymous, but we're getting way off topic.
Yeah.
We should talk
Okay.
about Doom.
Back to traits. So Christian, as you were saying,
Believe, I'll believe, or whatever it is.
Lisa Aghalib,
Yeah,
That one. That's the one.
Apu from Aladdin.
Muhad'Dib.
Falafel.
Yes. So
Hummus. Well, now I'm hungry.
I literally just had it. Okay, here it is. So one of the things you can do several things with momentum. You can buy extra d20s. It's exponential for every extra one you buy over one d20. So for a skill test, you can say, "Hey, I really need to be successful, so I can buy an extra one or extra few if we have
My
the momentum."
inner engineer screams at me. That's not what exponential means, but I know the normal person doesn't understand what exponential is, so I'll allow it.
It's an exponential cost, right?
No, it's not.
Well,
It's
okay.
not.
It
It's an algebraic. It's an algebraic
Continue.
increase, but it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay, sure. It goes from 1 to 2 to 3, so it's not technically, but yeah.
You know,
So
we say a lot of things on here. I once
It's
called
linear.
I once called multiple doves doves, so you know.
Doves.
Doves.
The doves.
Look at the doves.
Sorry,
So
Christian. Yeah.
you can also create a trait that allows you to define a new fact about the scene or situation. So you can spend 2 points on momentum, and you can create a brand new trait about the scene or change an existing one, remove one currently in play. So it must relate to the action you've just attempted, and it must be something that could reasonably result from that action. So what I'm going to attempt to do, and I might have to do a skill test first for this, but what I want to do is create a distraction by so I have these vials of the poison.
Fossicado poison.
Yes. And I like to think that they're used to coat my blades and everything.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think that they are pretty flammable as well. And I'm going to attempt to create a large explosion from this R-downed ornithopter that's already out of commission.
Yeah.
But essentially creating a big explosion and smoke cloud to kind of conceal myself, but also to distract others towards the location that I'm at.
I'm gonna ask a question here because I don't know the answer. Is poison flammable or explosive? I don't know. an answer to this question.
I mean,
Like,
it
is
might
the
depend on the
average
poison.
poison
yeah.
combustible?
Yeah, I mean, we're creating this trait right now, so we can say that your poison avocado poison is also flammable. We could say that.
Okay, I'll live with that. It's just
Because
like,
part of the refining process makes it super flammable.
Yeah.
Or you can say that.
oh god, oh shit, what if you get
Make it
poisoned, but the poison doesn't kill you until like you get near a fire,
What?
And then it reacts.
and then you just fucking blow up. Like, what if it's not the poison that kills you? It's the fact that we're
It just
injecting
makes you super
a
flammable.
combustible material into your body.
And you light
I
on
don't-
fire from the inside out.
Okay, I just want to point out you got mad at the whole exponential thing, and then you proposed this whole scientific
I mean, he is
nonsense.
right.
Okay, this is great. So you're consuming 2 momentum to do that?
Also, there's space worms that travel through jet propulsion by shooting sand through their mouths out their butts. This is let's
Sorry.
logic and
As an
science
engineer,
go.
I hear people use the term exponential a lot, and it's never right. And it's just like that has a solid spot in my heart of like they're wrong. That's not what that means.
We're sorry, we triggered you.
Here's what I will say. Sorry to go back to the conflict.
Why are we playing the game? I want to talk about this.
Here's what I will say. So, Christian, even though we haven't like officially started conflict yet, essentially what I was having you do before is on page 166 on taking action, we talked about moving subtly. So if you move an asset subtly, your subtlety limits your opponent's ability to respond. If you pass, then move your asset, you can reduce the cost to keep the initiative to 0. Your subtlety allows you to act again before your enemy can react. So we already did that. That was what the difficulty of 2 skill check was. So keeping the initiative is basically just kind of pushing you forward and getting to take another turn. So I like to think that's what you're doing. You're sneaking over to like move subtly.
Oh, sure.
And then creating a trader asset. So during conflict, how creating a trading asset works is basically you do have to attempt a skill test with a difficulty of 2, but then you create that trait on the battlefield, and then you can spend 2 momentum to make the asset created during a scene permanent, in which case it is added to a list of assets on your character sheet. So since we're kind of saying like you kind of like kept the initiative, let's go ahead and have you do another difficulty of 2 skill test to create that explosive poison trait. And then you can spend 2 momentum then to make it permanent if you want to do that.
Do it. We have 6 momentum. Use as much as you want.
Yeah.
For the players or for the viewers, just as a reminder, there is a limit to momentum. We can only have 6 momentum. There's not a limit to threat. So we're at the max. There's absolutely no reason to not spend momentum.
Yeah.
So what is this skill test for?
It just says you just need to attempt a skill test with a difficulty of 2. So
okay, but
I would kind of say like you're asking what skills should you use?
Yeah.
I think either a battle or understand would make the most sense. Battle being like your skill in warfare, and understanding being like your knowledge of your avocado spiccato like poison oil.
Spiccato.
Yes. So either one of those skills you could use, and then you could just keep using your justice drive, since that's what's been motivating you the most so far. So whatever you think is most appropriate.
But personally, I'd argue discipline is also just like I'd say battle, discipline, or understand. Move and communicate. I don't know how those would work, but like the other 3, I could make an argument for.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, we'll roll the. Well, no matter what, I'm going to have.
Okay. Ones are good in this game, which I hate, but it's a thing.
Yeah. What was your target number, Christian?
Nah, just tell yourself golf. Boom, done.
I mean,
I don't golf.
So
I know, but you know how golf works.
It takes
target
my
number
brain,
was
even with
11.
that, it takes my brain a minute to think like, oh, 1 is good.
First place. Number 1.
So, anyways, Christian, you said your target. What was your target number again?
11. So
11. Great.
Ooh,
how
So
was
you got 3 successes in total.
Mhm.
You could use, I don't think they really say this in it, but I'm gonna say like you could use one of those momentums that you gained extra from there, and just take one from your pool, and that's the 2 momentum you have to make it permanent if you want to do that.
Oh yeah, mess it up.
I'll allow it.
I mean, I'll take it.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
so
okay. I would argue.
if our DM is willing to do that, I am down, and you should be.
But I will interject since we're trying to like teach people to play the game.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would argue that the whole reason he rolled the dice is that the 2 momentum have already been consumed in the attempt to roll the dice. The only
Right.
reason I'm arguing that is just because if people are trying to learn from us to play the game, in the
No, I can
to
see
this
myself
weird
making
intersection that
similar-
we're at,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have rolled the dice had we not already consumed the 2 momentum.
Well,
Yeah.
it didn't cost momentum to roll the dice. I'm allowing it because my thought process was momentum is used for like whatever you're kind of like acting and doing. So I think it's okay that he has this momentum dice he was gonna earn, and then he just takes one from the pool to like make it permanent right now, because this is like his act of creating the trait, is how I thought of it. But yeah, there's definitely interpretations for it for sure, especially where there's not super clarification in the rules for that. So yeah.
I just want to make it clear that we're not experts.
Yeah.
We're playing the game just like you guys are.
So Christian, Arachne
yeah.
creates this new trait, the flammable poison, right? The explosive poison. And you're able to successfully, on your turn, basically plant that poison. And are you igniting it right now to create the distraction in the smoke?
Yeah, essentially the idea was to kind of plant it within the ornithopter so that, like, this is something that is on fire, and it almost give myself a little bit time to get out of there, but not much time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would imagine like one of the engines is kind of like bursting.
Still flaming.
A flame.
Yeah.
Or like near the wings, at least. I think the engines are around there.
Yeah.
It looks like that's where the fire's coming from. So I imagine, I guess like the vial or like the vial that it's in only has so much time until like it burns up and just like the poison is. I guess it could be like the heat like. The liquid actually turns into gas from the heat, and then that's what it becomes explosive.
Oh, like hitting a certain temperature.
Yeah, and it just explodes from there. So, however you want to take that.
Awesome. And then now you had a question.
Does our poison become a gas cloud, or does it just combust? This may matter because, like, if there's a cloud of poison gas, that is different than just like an ornithopter explosion.
I'm thinking with the heat of the fire, it would absolutely become a poison cloud. So you could utilize it in that way as well, weaponize it in that way. I don't know if we have as a house before, but
no. We're learning all sorts
we haven't
of
talked
new
about
things
this, but this is just like
today.
how my brain works of like, did we just create a gas cloud? Because if the wind shifts and blows it our way, do I need to fucking get out of the way? This matters.
Maybe.
I guess that's true. That's true. I feel like we're doing war crimes.
I was gonna say we're getting close to a mustard gas situation.
There may be some light
war crime. We wanted the explosion.
Tassets,
we didn't necessarily intend
We didn't
to
mean
gas the enemy.
For all of the tassels to die and a few spice smugglers from a poison cloud, but if it happened. Anywho, let's get back to it. So, all right. With that,
With all that,
with all that, let's go ahead and have that as the first kind of like the first like turn in the conflict. So Arachne subtly moved over to this destroyed Onthopter, kept the initiative, took another turn, and then created a trait and set off this explosion of like this flammable poison that you make from your Spasicatos, and it definitely seems to have like the effect that 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 you guys are trying to do. So let's see here. I'm gonna say that probably happened before conflict started, but we are definitely in conflict now as that explodes. So
We don't have to roll for like initiative.
no. So essentially, how conflict
we could have
works.
bluffed them out of the way. I'm just saying. I could have bluffed them away.
Hey,
that
technically, that's still an option. They don't know if the like what just exploded is a residual effect of the bullets they shot at our fucking helicopter.
Exactly.
And you can
That
still
is
talk
true.
them down in the conflict. That's just an extended skill check, I would say.
Yeah,
But
that could have just been an
Okay.
extended gas tank that just blew up.
Yeah.
Extended gas tank. That's true.
Like one that was like it hadn't been punctured, but it's just been leaking this whole time, and finally it
It blew
triggered.
up. Yeah.
So
that's totally, that happens all the time.
how conflict works is that it's very similar to Lancer in the sense that we're going to be taking turns between you guys picking first who goes first. Then it will flip after one character has gone, then it will flip back to the enemy side. They'll choose a character to go, then back to you guys, and so on and so forth till everybody has taken a turn in that round. So, let's go ahead and what I'll say is that it's your guys's. So, Christian, Arachne was able to do that before conflict started. Conflict has started, and players usually go first. I'll say that the explosion is definitely big enough to kind of like upset them and put them off guard, so you guys are able to go first. So, whoever you guys would like to nominate to go first, you can. And how this works is that when you make an attack, you choose an asset to use in the attack. You, based on the type of attack you're making, choose the appropriate skill and drive, as well as a focus if one applies. You roll a contest with the target, because how this works is that essentially whoever your target is will roll their focus and drive together, or sorry, their skill and drive together. And whatever successes they get are the successes you need to beat them. And then you roll to fight them. And if you win, your attack is successful, and if you lose, your attack fails. A thing to note is that if they are minor character when you succeed, they're just instantly defeated. So you can imagine all these one tassels are minor characters, but the 5 tassel master might be not a minor character NPC. So and then we can kind of go into the requirements and extended tasks when we kind of get into that. But for the most part, as long as you succeed your contest against all the minor ones, you kind of just defeat them. There are different ways to do stuff, because there is you basically each turn you get a single action to either move or use an asset, which is what we were discussing. So for example, moving, we talked about moving subtly, and basically if you succeed, you get to keep the initiative at a cost of 0, which is great. You can also move boldly, which basically if you succeed in that, you may move an opposing character's assets. Your daring ploy has provoked a reaction, just as you planned. So that's something you could do. So basically, Christian has made the asset here and successfully like distracted them for the moment. But I would say that if you wanted to provoke them into your reaction, like you may move an opposing character's assets, I would consider these characters, each of these like one tassels as an asset. So in order to bring them over there, you might have to do something like moving an asset boldly to do that. But that's up to you guys. There's a lot of different things you can do. And we can go over keeping the initiative more of that in a second. Yes, Nye?
Question. So And I mentioned this earlier that I'd kind of like to do an insight check, but it was Christian's like turn, so it didn't come up.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is like Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is kind of see how the smugglers are reacting. Like,
Yeah.
are they with us? Are they just like, I don't want to fucking touch it with a 10-foot pole? Are they with the other team? Like, any of that. But I don't know
are
if
they
that
just are they just like
qualifies
putting their
as a
guns on
turn.
us? Like, oh yeah, we're with them now.
If you turn back to Corbin and kind of look at him and his men, they have their Mola pistols and they're in the cave. They don't seem to be coming out and engaging, but they definitely seem to be on edge. They're not turning their guns to you guys just yet. You guys made a deal with them, so.
Ah,
Yeah, but I didn't know if that like takes a turn. I just kind of wanted to see how they're
fair.
reacting to like everything.
they're smugglers.
Because they
We
have
weren't
8
sure how
guys and we
honorable
have
they'd be.
3.
The explosion
So if it's
just
11
happened,
on
so there's
so if it's
not
11
much
on
time
12,
for reaction yet.
yeah, if it's 11 on 12, that's an argument. If they join the Tassets and it's 20 on 3,
Yeah.
that's an entirely different argument to make.
You guys might have to. They're currently in the caves. Guys might have to do something to bring them out into the conflict. Who knows? So.
But yeah, I didn't know if I could make like an insight check or anything before we actually get into like the quote unquote combat.
No, that's what you observe. They're in the caves. They're armed, but they don't seem to be coming out and engaging right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it is your guys' turn. So you guys get to nominate who you want to go, and then that person gets to either move an asset or use an asset, whatever they like to do.
If I go, I will just attempt to convince Corbin of like, here's what's going on. If I'm selected, I will use my mentat ability to as objectively as possible explain like, we have legal rights to this land. You infringed it, and we're willing to come up with a deal. And honestly, I think the last time we talked, it was 80%. I'll fucking cut it down to 60%. If you help us get rid of the taxes. If I'm selected to go my turn, that is what I will do, is just kind of like
negotiate with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could command them.
I could, but also I don't know if they're going to listen.
That's true.
That's why I feel like it's just it's best to
just
as a
use your
mentat.
communicate skill.
I feel like it's best to be like, here's what's going on. They're this house. We're this house. We have rights to this land, and we're willing to make a deal with you and work with you. I don't know what the fuck they're doing here other than just being dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they kill us, I can't promise that they just like won't kill you. Straight up. They might do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm okay with you going next.
Then that's my action. Is just action. Again, I'm thinking in terms of D&D. It's just like communicating with Corbin of like, we have legal rights to this land. If they kill us, they're gonna kill you. If you help us, we'll cut your rate down from like the 80% of street price of the spice you mine to like 60% of the street price you mined. You'll save money. They're gone. We all live. Everybody wins. Kind of.
Yeah. Go ahead. Give me a communicate test with a difficulty of 1, because the deal has already been kind of negotiated, and you're just sweetening the pot. So.
Hopefully I do this command right. Is it R/?
/R.
Yeah.
/R,
Slash.
yeah.
And just I'm putting.
I did /R and it said unrecognized command.
Or you can also just always click the so over on the left hand side, if you have that menu up, you can just roll 2d20 like this.
/R 2d20.
Oh, Justin, that's a good roll.
I know that was like the best roll ever.
Oh. Just /R and then space.
Okay. So,
Yeah, you got it. Oh, you got one.
I mean, realistically, I will probably use communicate because
Yes.
that I'm communicating.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's what he said.
And I'm probably using justice just because objectively, like, this is how the law works.
Yep.
So I have a communicate of 6, justice of 8, that's 14, which means one of those two things passes, and it was a DC 1, so we're good.
Great. Perfect. So, yes. So you see that they kind of rally themselves and they start to move out. So they will also get a turn and be able to kind of like imagine and turn over like you guys, probably House Tassel, Spice Smugglers. You guys, House Tassel, Spice Smugglers is how we're gonna do that. So great.
Okay.
So yeah. So now, House Tassel is going to go, and you see the Tassel Master kind of goes, hey, go check that out, because it was loud enough for them to like distract. So probably, let's see, I think each of these guys only get like an individual turn, so only one moves over to over here, and that is, I think, all they can do. I think you can only move like just normally once on your turn. Yep, they may take an
Fucking
action.
Tassels.
So he just moved over there to go check it out. And so it's back to the Spice Smugglers. And at this point, you see Corbin. Let's go ahead and give him
there you go.
a little dot. That's Corbin. He charges out of the caves and he goes, come on, let's fight for the spice! And then is actually going to start engaging.
Hell yeah!
He moves in, but he has his pistol drawn, and he's gonna start taking shots. So he can't do anything else, but he moves into the tent zone. Well, actually, wait. I was talking about range. He can probably fire outside the cave. Let me double check on range weapons. I believe range weapons just get a +1 difficulty when they shoot into a different area. Let's see here. I'm looking through that real quick. And so I just had it up. I was trying to double check zones of conflict. I think it just adds +1 difficulty to the check. I wish this was easier to find. I'm in zones of conflict and it doesn't discuss range weapons at all.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't get into the player the handbook that much or that detailed. That is terrible.
Okay, movement. All right, I'm in the skirmish section. Let's see. Okay, weapons. Nope, doesn't say it there either. Okay, well, I can't figure it out. And I don't want to waste anybody's time, so I'm just gonna say it's +1 difficulty to the skill check. So how this works is oh, okay, is this it? No, this is actions in warfare, but it does say, let's see, the attacker's final difficulty increases by +1 for each additional. Nope, that's something completely different. Okay, so how this works is that we'll say Corbin from here shoots at this minor House Tassel right here. So we'll just move them into the zone so we know that all 4 of these guys are in this zone right here. And so he's going to try to make an attack against this House Tassel. And so they have a battle skill of 6, and they have a quality, they have a drive of 5. So basically, since they're being targeted, they're gonna try to roll. They're kind of like they're saying the difficulty right now. So 6 + 5, so they have to get 11 or under for each success. So they got 1 success because the 13 is not 11 or under. So they got 1 success, and it's +1 to the difficulty because he's from a zone away. So he is going to have to get 2 successes on this roll in order to successfully defeat this minor House Tassel character. So his battle skill is only a 4, but his drive is a 6. So he's also going to roll 2d20, and he's trying to beat that 2 successes because of like what they rolled. And he only got 1 success, unfortunately, because the other one was too high. So he shoots at one of these minor characters, but doesn't land the shot and misses. At this point, it is now back to you guys. So who was going next?
I gotta go next.
Not me. Okay. Question.
Yeah.
So we're talking about this being like a Lancer game of play.
Mm-hmm.
Lancer,
Yeah.
interpreted, is that every single person, our team, has to have a turn in a round. Right?
Yeah.
Is it the same way in Dune?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Just as a point of clarification, I wanted to like touch on that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So therefore, I nominate Justin to have a turn.
Cool. So he ran in and he tried to shoot, and so everybody's kind of focused on him right now, right? And kind of this, and probably not us, really.
Not yet. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. So I am going to, since we've just chosen violence, I am going to. I have a small knife
Yeah.
that can easily be hidden. I am going to throw that knife into that dude's face.
Perfect.
I am going to. I think that is a battle check.
So I'm sorry. Which one are you attacking again?
Big guy.
All right. 5 tassels.
Yeah, he's
tassels.
commanding units. There's stuff going on, and I'm just gonna throw a knife right into.
Yes. So, okay. So this is great. What you're going to do is you are going to. This is going to be, because he is not a minor character, this is going to be an extended task. So basically, how this works is that we're doing the same thing that we just did between Corbin and one of these House Minor characters. So go ahead and choose an asset for the attack, which was your knife. Go ahead and choose an appropriate skill and drive, which is probably your battle, and then one of your drives.
Battle and duty. This guy's trying to take us. He's trying to make us look like fools. I'm not having it.
So he is going to roll. I'm going to spend 1 point of threat to have him roll an extra d20.
Cool. Can I spend a point of momentum?
Yeah, you can.
Sweet.
I wouldn't roll just yet, though.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
I kind of feel like this is a good time to spend some momentum. Maybe if we can take him down, we can just make the others.
How dare you use threat on me, sir?
Sir.
Nah, I'm fine with it. You bring it. You bring that static, Spencer.
That's static.
Bring
okay.
that static up in here.
Yeah, because I believe I'm spending it right. I believe I can use this as like a to increase the dice pool for him. I just want to make sure I got that right. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Cool. So then yes, so he's rolling 3d20, and it's the same as before. So he is rolling for an 11 because of his battle plus drive. So he has 3 successes. So on your skill check, in order to successfully attack him, or attack her, I should say, you will have to get 3 successes.
Yep. Yep. It's just like the players were buying D20s, you can too.
Mm-hmm.
Same cost and everything.
All right. Well, so I need 3 successes. I definitely want the extra. I want to definitely use momentum. And how much is it? It's one, and then I use 2 dice to get another actual die that I can roll.
Yep. So you always get two d20s.
Right.
And yes, so spending a momentum grants you an additional d20 for the roll.
Yep. And then when I have a focus.
Yes.
How does that work? Do I get an extra
if the
die?
focus applies, it doesn't give you an extra die. If you roll under the skill that it is being used under, then if you roll under that, it counts as 2 successes. So say your battle is like a 6, and you're using small knives as a focus. That means if you roll a 6 or under, you get 2 successes from that.
It's like rolling a crit.
Yep. Okay. I think sneak attack applies.
Which, speaking of, I should clarify something.
What?
He does have. They all of the House Tassets have focuses in short blades and mauler rifles.
Fucking dorks.
But I don't think this applies right now because they're defending. I don't think they use an asset to defend. But keep going, Justin. Sorry.
Okay. And we have Now I just use the 1 momentum to get a 3rd die. Oh! Okay. So that's 2. Wait, I think that's 2 successes. Hold on.
That's probably 2 successes.
14 with the check, yeah. So 2 successes, but I have the sneak attack. So does that count as 4?
What does the sneak attack do?
Well, that's my focus.
Yeah, but what does it do?
If it's a focus, it just means that whenever you're applying,
as I'm attacking him. I am sneak attacking him because he is currently figuring out commanding all of his units.
Yeah.
And as his back is turned, I'm gonna stab him in the damn back.
Yeah. If it's a focus, how focuses work is that it's just under whatever. If you roll under your skill,
right,
which is battle, right, then you just get 2 successes.
Just the battle number.
If it's because it's a sneak attack, it's the battle. It's
not
battle
the double.
Focus,
not
right?
not the difficulty. Right. Okay. Cool.
So not the skill and the drive, just the skill.
Yeah.
3 successes, including the sneak attack focus.
Great. Perfect. Then yeah.
I wouldn't known that Shar is not cool with the sneak attack, but she is cool with just stabbing a Tasset. So she has mixed feelings about
I saw an opportunity. I took it.
It's dishonorable for the backstab, but also it's a Tasset, so they kind of deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
So how this works is that you don't outright defeat the Master Tassel.
We literally kill people for money. What the hell, honor?
I'm a computer.
You don't outright
kill... I kill people for money.
You don't outright...
I mean, Christian's character kills people for money.
It's for the glory of the house.
The glory of the house. The money just comes with it.
Sometimes that money is what we need.
Okay, so...
Exactly.
Because you succeeded, you got 3 successes. Essentially, an extended task happens where basically it's a series of contests. So you passed your first contest. You are trying to meet a requirement equal to that character's skill. So their skill is battle, and it's a 6. And so each time you succeed in a contest against them, you get points equal to 2 plus the quality of your asset used. Your quality of asset used for everybody right now is a 0, so it's not really going to apply. But you get 2 points towards that requirement, which is 6 right now. So if you win a contest 2 more times, they will be defeated.
Let's
Okay.
fucking go.
So that's how that works. So,
Dude, I'm gonna innuendo the shit out of this guy.
so
All right,
Justin,
so I need to roll again, right?
no. That's the end of your turn.
Okay.
Yep. And so with that, Master Tassel is probably going to attack in return and do the same thing to you, Justin. She is going to use her short blades to attack you.
Okay.
That's the asset she's chosen. She's going to choose her battle and drive, which is 11, to try to hit you. She has a focus that applies, and her focus it attributes to her battle skill, which is 6. But first, you need to roll your successes to see if, how you defend. So first off, because she's attacking you, you're setting the difficulty. So go ahead and roll. You get at least 2 d20s to kind of defend yourself.
Okay.
And then if you want to buy momentum or anything like that, you can.
I'd say
No.
we have 5. I'd say you can buy at least 1 if you want. Personally.
Yeah, she is also probably going to use 1 threat as well. So.
Oh. Well, fuck me.
So, did you get at least 1 success?
I got 1 success. Wait, how am I figuring out how to do the success? What is the success?
It's just the same as like
my
you did
drive
before.
in battle.
Yes. So you're
yeah, I definitely want to use another one. Fucking momentum.
Alright, bud.
Okay. Yeah. So 2 successes.
Okay. 2 successes, and she's going to spend a point of threat to roll 3d20s. So her difficulty is 2 successes.
Dude, fuck this con.
So she has to get 3 successes or 2
Wow.
successes.
Michael, we are public.
And she
Sue me.
And she is trying to hit 11.
Oh, what a bitch!
She has a focus for 6
Whoa,
and under.
you
Spencer.
just yelled at me for my language.
Yeah, well, that term you used was a little stronger. Let's just say it's a little stronger.
Is it?
Fuck you, Spencer. The hell?
So
Stop cheating.
She got 2 successes from the 4 because that's under her 6. Or
Dude,
6 and under.
this is
and
some
then
bullshit.
her total was supposed to get 11, so she got a 3rd success from the 10. So I gained a threat because
Yeah.
I got
I
1
decline.
extra. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that back in for me. And then
Bunch of dice over there.
she also is starting to get a requirement on you, Justin. So Justin, what is your battle skill?
6.
6. Okay, so it's the same as hers. So
Okay.
both of you exchange blows and have 2 points towards the 6 requirement against each other. So you're kind of like duking it out and fighting and everything like that right now.
So is this just like the equivalent of Justin like going for the sneak attack and kind of being countered, but nothing really happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they get exhausted a little bit. That's so they're starting to
But
get on
like, no, like he pulls out a knife,
Yep.
they block it, and then just we stare at each other until something else happens.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's vaguely Middle Eastern chanting happening. We're staring at each other solemnly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and take there's a lot of people on this map. So let me go ahead and just kind of go ahead. One of them are going to try to move subtly to try to see if they can keep the initiative and stuff like that. So their skill check was a 10. So they did not pass. So this smuggler tries to sneak up on one of these guys over here, but does not pass it. In case you fail, on additional movement. Let's see here. Oh, So you can move, and then you may choose to try to gain an additional benefit. Okay. You may not spend momentum on additional movement. One enemy may move a single asset one zone as they react to your failed ploy. Okay. So basically, this guy tries to move in from the top of the rock outcropping and try to sneak in and get one of these guys in the open sand. But because he failed his ploy, he gets to move a single asset one zone. So I'm just going to say this other guy moves into this zone and starts engaging with these guys up here. So that's what happens. And I believe it goes back to your guys' initiative, which it's only Christian that's left, right? So.
Or I guess we're back to Christian, we could say.
Well, yeah.
Well, yes and no, because he went technically before combat started.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so I'm going to just attempt to sneak attack on, I guess, one of these guys here by the destroyed ornithopter.
Yeah, go for it. So they are going to roll. So you go ahead, choose your asset, your skill, drive, and a focus if it applies. They're going to roll to set your difficulty. They need to hit 11, and they have focuses in. Well, no. Their focus doesn't apply because they're not using any of their assets to defend. So they just got 2 successes because both were under 11. So. So you have a difficulty of 2 against them.
Yeah, so this is going to be, oh gosh, where am I? So or sorry, I guess I shouldn't say sneak attack. I guess I'm going to try and just assassinate one of them.
Yeah.
From the shadows.
Yeah.
Because
they're my
the smoke I made and everything. I technically don't have sneak attack. I have assassination.
Okay,
so just to be clear on that. So I will do that.
I'm gonna be honest, kind of the same thing to the average person.
Yeah. I mean, fair. Let's roll 2d20. Oh no, that's. Oh wait, but
those are good. Those are good numbers.
Yep.
That the 5 counts as 2 successes, so I got 2 successes there.
All right.
Yes.
So you succeed, and because they're a minor character, there's no extended test. You just defeat them. So what does this look like, Christian?
I mean, I imagine I just kind of appear through a plume of smoke that has been created from this. We're gonna assume that I can I have a shield on, so I'm protected from the poison.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not even worried about that or so we're just gonna say that's. That's how that works. And yeah. I'm just going to kind of grab them, stab their neck, and then just pull them back through the smoke.
Are you okay, dude?
I like to imagine the tassels are moving in. They're looking about, and you just pop out.
That's how it goes.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. They're calling out to each other did you see that? Where'd he go?
Yeah.
So. All right. And then next up, it's going to be their turn. So we've had Master Tassel and one of these guys have already gone. So we'll go ahead and have one of these guys. They're going to try to attack you in here. And I'm going to say that because there's this trait in here, they're going to have to first, let's see. It's an obstacle for them, probably. So we need to attempt to overcome an obstacle. You must describe how you are bypassing it, then attempt a skill test. So passing a test means you've managed to pass the obstacle unhindered. Failure means you've been stopped for the time being. You need to find a different method to overcome the obstacle. This is normally has a difficulty of 1, but more challenging obstacles naturally have a higher difficulty. So he's going to first try to see if he can overcome the smoke to try to see if he can spot you in here. And this is a difficulty of 1. And so he's probably using his move and his drive, which is 10 in total. So he does get 1. So he does overcome the obstacle to see you in here. He like pushes further into the smoke after you pop out and kill a guy. And so I believe that is his action, because you only get 1 action. So I imagine that because he overcame an obstacle, that was the one thing he could do. Let's see here. During espionage intrusion, when you attempt to overcome an obstacle, I think that's his thing, because you may take a single action to either move an asset or use an asset, and so, yeah, I'll say he was trying to find you in there, so he's no longer hindered by that smoke, but he had to take an action to kind of do that. So, next up we have the spice smugglers. You know what? I'll just kind of roll. I want to speed things up, so I'm going to roll 2d20 for this kind of conflict down here. I'm first going to roll for the spice smuggler to see how many successes he gets, and then I'll roll for the other one and compare. Okay, so that was the spice smuggler. He was trying to get a 10, so he got 1 success. The bottom one, he is battle and 5. He was trying to get 11. So he got uses his short blade, so he got 2 successes. So this spice smuggler is knocked out. So boom, he's dead. So this guy is also going to attempt an attack on, let's see, that guy. All of you guys have gone so far, which is why I'm just kind of like rolling through this. So the spice smuggler gets only 1 success, and he got 2. So this guy is gone. But the other 2 spice smugglers are going to go. So they're going to be rolling against his 2 successes. Let's see if they get 2 successes. And he does! Look at that! So this spice smuggler defeats this guy. And this last one moves in up here to fight this guy. So next up we have these guys up here. Let's say they all start firing. Gosh. I'm just trying to move things along, guys. Oh, they got a nap fail. Oh, man.
Loser.
Narratively, I'm just going to say 2 of these guys get taken out. And only 1 of these guys get taken out. So they're fighting right now. And Corbin's getting pushed up against the wall. He's not doing well. Let's go ahead and resolve this last guy up here. He's also going to try to attempt to overcome the smoke obstacle. And does not. He is lost. He basically lost his turn. So he has lost his turn. So let's go ahead and say that's the end of the first round. And let's go ahead and start back at the top of turn order with you guys. So currently the spice smugglers are kind of getting their butts handed to them. They're not as proficient in combat as the House Tasit like guards. But you Anna is currently engaged with the Master Tassel, and both have kind of like 1 hit of requirement on them. And then Christian, with his Arachne character, is just murdering people in the smoke. So who would like to go first?
Yeah.
I don't
Not
know.
me.
Christian, you want to get some quick murder out of the way?
Oh,
Hey, you want to do me a solid and murder these guys real quick?
Like a little stabby, shooty shoot. Maybe stab one, shoot the
It'd
other.
be real cool if you could delete some people real quick.
Actually, if you could do that, do that. Stab the one right in front of you and then shoot the other.
Well, I don't have a gun.
Hey, you see how those guys are alive right now? Things would be a
But,
lot easier if they weren't.
We just really like to take their personal life journey in a different direction.
In a different direction. Oh man.
But
You know how
I
books
mean,
have chapters? These guys have ran out of those.
They've ran out
No more
pages.
pages in their book of life.
I can attack this guy with my short blade, so
And
that has come through the
we
smoke.
love that for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you're attacking that guy with your short blades? Is that what you're saying, Christian?
Yeah, the guy that came out after
Into
me.
the smoke? Perfect. So he's gonna go ahead. He's not gonna spend. I'm not gonna spend any threat for him. He is going to go ahead and roll to see what his successes are for his defense. He got 2 successes. So that is gonna be your difficulty for this skill test.
Okay. Yep. It's happening.
It's happening. Using momentum.
Nah. I'm Gucci.
Nah, you don't need it on those little guys, I don't think. Shit.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, I did not get 2 successes. I got
Alright.
1 success.
So
Oh,
unfortunately, yeah, your attack fails. So I like to think maybe you're exchanging blows, your swords are clashing with each other in the smoke, but you don't get that fatal blow on him just yet.
Mm-hmm.
So Master Tassel will probably take their turn
Bro,
first.
fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that girl.
Piece of
Fuck
shit.
that girl.
why am I 2 of 6?
Because remember
Were you a
last
piece of
turn
shit?
they
Oh, he got
succeeded
2 more
against you.
successes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are going to be
cheated.
spending a point of threat. They're going to be using their short blades, and they're going to be using their
Oh,
battle
no.
and their drive for it. So, Justin, you are going to go ahead and make your roll against this. Would you
like to defend yourself,
Yeah.
Justin?
Would you
I
like to
think I
add
would.
momentum or anything like that?
Yeah, I think I would.
I'll allow it. Honestly, we're still at 3 of 6. Just go ahead and use them.
Fuck you! That's still
What-
2 successes, though.
Why are
2
you yelling
successes,
at me?
No, not you. I'm not
The
yelling at
dice.
you. I'm
It's
yelling
the
at the
dice
dice.
night.
I'm looking at the dice. and
Go
yelling.
ahead, use them both. You got
Ooh.
2.
You got
We
2
gotta use 'em.
successes. They also they only got 1 success.
1.
Yeah. Because they did not get under their focus. So they
Yeah.
do not succeed. They do not get any points towards the requirement against you. And that is the House Tassit's turn. Let's go ahead and take Corbin's turn, who's gonna make another shot against one of these guys. Let's just do the defense. And then this is Corbin's attack. Ooh, they did not roll very high. They got 1 success, and Corbin got 1 success. So boom, he is able to defeat one of them, and another of House Tacit falls. So, okay, let's go ahead and let's see your guys' turn again. So who's going next?
Now, you got anything specific you want to do? I'm just gonna stab this guy.
I was gonna say I have a knife and a shield, so my thing's gonna stab the dude, the main chick. So if you want to
The
stab
main
him
chick?
before I do, go for it. You're probably better at stabbing than I am.
Can I grapple him and hold him so you can just like slice him up? Or like, yeah, or like trip him or something.
Like the
Do a
help
little-
action.
I don't know, like a judo throw.
I like to think that what you're kind of doing right now, what you're describing is this
I
would
want
be
to
the
fight
same.
dirty.
You would be doing the same thing you'd be doing before, but this would be part of like attributing to the requirement of defeating this character, right? But I will say,
Mhm.
so there are no rules about multiple people attacking one character.
Ah.
So there are no rules about multiple people attacking one character, and I did try to see like, hey, if somebody started building a requirement up to defeat you, but didn't, is there any persisting like damage or stuff that kind of carries into the next battle, or is that used again against other characters? And
Mhm.
I have found no rules on any of that. So
Interesting.
it seems rules as written is when another character starts engaging with you, they start building up a different requirement pool because it doesn't say anything about sharing
I guess that makes sense. Kind of
requirements.
how they do that big, kind of one-on-one combat thing where
Yeah.
it's like, very cinematic, especially taking on two opponents. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll just stab him.
Okay.
Um, or do I do more damage with the? Are there close combat penalties with the gun?
What's that?
Are there close combat penalties for using a gun in close quarters?
So here's the thing. I did finally find those rules. So on page 174, basically how the conflict kind of goes through is I described before that conflict can take place in multiple different things, right? Like you can have like a skirmish, which is what this is. You can have like a duel. You can have espionage. You can have intrigue. So in the skirmish rules, under maneuvering and positioning, a ranged weapon can be used to attack enemies in the same zone at no penalty or in an adjacent zone at +1 difficulty. Moving a ranged weapon asset into another zone represents taking aim at a target in that zone. It need not mean the character themselves has moved into that zone. When moving a ranged weapon asset into another zone, the player should specify whether their character is moving with it. So I think what that means is that basically with a ranged weapon, you have no penalty in the same zone. It doesn't say anything about close quarters combat. But basically, when I was taking shots from Corbin in this zone, I was correct that it was +1 difficulty if he hadn't moved the asset there. But if he took a turn to quote unquote move the asset to the 10th zone, that's like him aiming into that zone and taking shots. So he should have done
Oh,
that last turn. He should have done that
okay.
his last turn. But anyways,
And there's no like difference in damage, right? It's just kind of
no.
meeting this.
It,
Okay.
it
All right.
that's
Well.
it's quality of the asset because when you add up the points you score with each successful attack, it's equal to 2 plus the quality of your asset. But all of you are using 0 quality assets right now, so it's not really applying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, like so if I had like a Chris knife or a
Yes.
Kinjal,
Yes.
that would be different.
Yes, that might be like a quality of like a 2 or like a quality of 1.
Well, yeah, like Chris knife has the keyword sacred.
So there we go. Yeah. I think they go up to 4, if I remember correctly. So.
Okay. What are you doing on threat down there? Oh, you still have quite a bit. All right.
Yep. Sure do.
I'm just gonna make a regular attack with 2d20. I'm not gonna use the momentum.
They are going to spend their threat. Does that change your method at all for their defense?
Yep. Sure does.
Okay.
I think I should roll the 3.
Do it.
This is so interesting.
Oh, shit. That's wrong.
It's okay. It's okay. You rolled 3d100s. That's okay. Oh man.
Fuck,
That's not
91? Man, you're way over.
Way over. There we go. Oh, nice. So that's 2 successes for me.
Great. They got 2 successes as well. So you succeed. However, also they rolled a nat 20, which means they get a complication because any dice which roll 20 cause a complication. So I'm gonna give them the injured complication, which means that a complication might cause the activity to take longer than normal. In general, complication can work like a negative trait. It can stop you from doing something you would normally do or increase the difficulty of an action by 1. So now they are hurt. So they are going to be basically taking a. It's going to be harder for them to get any kind of attacks on you guys from now on because their difficulty is going to be increased.
So I dodge and get the back of his hand.
Yeah.
And I can't hold his knife as well, or with that hand.
Exactly.
Bam.
So, okay.
Choreographed.
That was your turn. Let's go ahead and move back to House Tasit. This one is going to make an attack against you, Christian. Go ahead and...
No.
I decline.
No.
He's not spending any threat. So go ahead and make your defense roll. He's trying to hit 11 or under.
Nice.
Remind me on
successes.
You roll.
Sorry, for defense. This is the first time I'm doing the defense.
Oh, that's right. So basically, you're just choosing a appropriate skill and drive, and you're rolling 2d20 or more if you spend momentum to create the difficulty for me. So whatever successes you get is the difficulty that the minor house member, the one tassel member, is trying to get in order to do a hit on you.
2d20. So would we consider this? Would we consider skills a part of this?
Skills a part of this? Do you mean focuses?
Or focuses, sorry.
I haven't been, because when I look back into contests and you're rolling to do the skill test, it doesn't make any mention of using focuses for it. It only mentions using focuses when you're making the attack, which to me makes sense because it means it kind of rewards the aggressor more in that sense, because you can get more successes that way. So
critical success on tests using that skill. Circumstances where that focus applies. There's no signal. Yeah.
Because it does say later on, defensive assets, when you can use a asset that you have as a defensive asset, which increases the difficulty of +1 for each defensive asset in the target zone. But if you're using something like your knife as a defensive asset, you can't use it to attack things. So think of it more so like having armor or having a shield.
I mean, yeah, these are just attacks specifically, so yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, these focuses have to do with attacking, so that makes sense. Other things that, like evasive action, if you have evasive action, that would absolutely be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
You should absolutely be using evasive action because it's dodging and avoiding blows defensively. So some focuses absolutely should be used for defense.
Okay.
It seems, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when else would you be using those?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right.
But some are more attack based too. So okay. That's cool. I have 2 successes here.
Okay. Cool. He also got 2 successes, so that means he met What's that?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. So he met the requirement. So he is going to start. He started making progress towards defeating you, but he only made 2 progress. What is your battle skill?
7.
7? Okay. So he has to do that at least 3 more times before he does that. So you're good. You're set for a little bit. Okay. Next up, we have the Spice So we'll go ahead and just try to resolve this down here. So I'll roll defense of the House Tasit. He got 1 success. Technically 2 successes. He got 2 successes because of his... Oh, no. He's defending. So no, just one of those. So Spice Smuggler got 2 successes. So this guy is now defeated. Hooray.
Oh, that's a good question. Is there such a thing as poison damage?
From my understanding, no.
Huh.
Just because, like, a lot of this is, like, abstracted. So...
Well, so, I mean, that does bring a good case. So, like, we have the poison there. One of the pre-made characters comes with, like, a poison reservoir.
Okay.
Is... I mean, is poison, like, a quick-acting thing, or is it, like, a slow thing where you're really just trying to nick them and then you wait, like, 3 days for them to die?
It just kind of makes it more general in the sense that, like, it's an asset that you have. So anywhere you can kind of justify using that asset to do something, from my understanding, is, like, you can use that in combat and such.
Oh. So if you had the acid reservoir, I'd be like, okay, so, like, once now that I've succeeded in a combat test, he should have a condition. Is there a poisoned condition, or is there, like, is the injured condition or whatever? Yeah.
Well,
okay.
that probably wouldn't happen unless they rolled, like, a complication. If they rolled a complication, then they'd probably get that kind of negative trait, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say that'd probably just happen naturally, like normally. Just because there's no rules for it.
Okay.
But with that, I think the Spice Smuggler went, and I think it's back to your guys' turn. So, is it Nye? You're the only one who hasn't gone yet?
I think I'm up.
Great.
But I just want to ask.
Yeah.
Because normally about this time we take a break. Is this the opportune time to take a break?
Is it okay if we finish this round real quick?
That's fine. I just wanted to.
Then I'd be so down to take that break. Yeah.
I'm a mentat. On the one hand, I kind of want to stab this dude. On the other hand, I'm not good at stabbing people. So I have mixed feelings. Realistically, I'll probably just take a stab and hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
Hope for the best. So what do I need to do?
You're attacking?
I'm gonna stab him.
Okay.
I'm gonna attempt to stab him.
You're attempting to stab the Master Tassel?
Yep.
Or do you want to take out one of the minor characters?
Nah, big guy.
Big guy. Okay, so he's gonna roll. Let's go ahead and spend another point of threat. So he's gonna roll 3d20s to make the difficulty for you. So with that, got another complication. My God. Okay. Oh,
wait,
so
you got another complication?
yeah, the Master Tassel did.
Loser.
Sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Because I stabbed it because it's the poison. See,
Yeah.
you didn't make the rules for the poison on our blades, but
the rules are still there. They know what they're there for.
They know what they're there for.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, so I'm trying to think reverse how does because it's supposed to be
what page are the conditions on?
153. That's the complications. So it's supposed to be like it increases the difficulty to do something by 1. So I wonder if it would help reverse that in like combat.
You only got 1 out of 2.
Yeah. But I'll go ahead and just spend 2 more threat to just ignore that last condition. Because I get to do that, just like you guys can do that for if that happens to you. So he'll ignore that. I spend 2 threat to ignore that condition or that complication, and he gets 2 successes. So you are trying to roll at least 2 difficulty to try to do an attack against him.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do,
Yes.
because I got 2d20, right?
Yep.
Realistically speaking, I'm probably gonna use the discipline skill because the mentat is just like super fucking disciplined. And I'm probably gonna use the justice drive just because like you guys don't fucking belong here. Like we own this land. That's fucking justice, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use the intense study trait, which once per scene I can use an understand skill on a single skill test involving any other skill, and it's counted as a focus. So basically, I'm gonna use one like roll. It's gonna be discipline and justice, which has like a DC 15, and the other one I'm gonna use understand and justice, which is actually DC 14, but
Yeah.
that one gives me the focus thing, which if it's under a 6, gives me like 2 successes.
Great.
So I want that known because I'm going to roll 2d20. The first one is going to count for that DC 15. The second one is going to count for that DC 14, but if it's a 6 or under, is 2 successes. We cool with that?
I'm very cool with that.
And that way I don't even use any momentum. Hopefully it works out for the best.
I'm rooting for you.
You ready?
Let's
Here we
see.
go. I got an
Nice.
8, which is a success, and I got a 2, which is 2 successes. That is 3 successes. Fun fact, 3 is greater than 2, meaning I pass.
Let's go. Getting a momentum in the process too. Let's go.
Yeah, that was nice. Getting the extra momentum back is pretty clutch right now.
Dude, I come out of this cave. I'm like, you don't belong here. Stab this bitch in the shoulder.
Okay, perfect. So, you do that stab, and at that point, can everybody do a discipline or battle skill test for me with a difficulty of 2?
So just roll 2d20.
Yep. Unless you
What
spend
do we add?
momentum on it, but
discipline
yeah.
or battle?
Discipline or battle. Yeah.
Do we add a drive?
You add a drive. You always add a drive. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Spencer, can I ask why we're doing it?
Yeah,
No.
something is interrupting the battle, and you are trying to perceive what.
Fuck, it's gonna be
might
goddamn
happening.
worm. Okay.
I pass.
So
I got that going for me.
Great.
Fuck you guys.
So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna use some self-control here and not stab this guy while there's.
I'm gonna use some self-control and not stab the man in front of me.
I mean, he is trying to kill me. That is some self-control.
I just like the concept of I'm gonna be responsible. You know, I'm gonna be an adult. I'm gonna swallow my pride, and I'm gonna not stab the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna be an adult. Just swallow my pride.
Swallow my pride, not stab. Okay. So
Christian, is that one pass for you?
Yeah. Great. It's fun. It's fine.
It's fine. We'll be fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. We're fine here. How are you?
Sweet.
That's probably 2 passes.
That is, that's definitely 2 passes. I was trying to see actually if I had gotten it. No, not 9, not 6. That was a 6. I would have gotten it. But yes, I believe definitely 2 passes.
2 passes? Okay. Well, then I like to think that maybe because you're not in the poisony smoke up here from the destroyed Ornithopter, you're here in the tents, and you kind of have like a clear visual out to the desert, right? both of you notice, probably at the same time that Corbin back here notices that as well, that you see a worm approaching the current battlefield
I hate
right
this.
now. So I'm gonna go ahead and move. We're exiting out of the conflict. We have a giant worm coming and attacking, and this is a perfect time
Hooray.
to take a break. So we're gonna take a
hate
quick
this.
break, settle kind of like what happens with the sandworm and everything, and yeah, we'll be right back. So stay tuned while we kind of figure out what happens next. So see you guys in a second. Bye. Hey everybody! Welcome back to the ABCs of RPGs, where we teach you the basics of tabletop role-playing games. My name is Spencer Reese. I'm going to be the game master for today, and we are playing the Dune RPG, Adventures in the Imperium. I'm joined by my players, Christian.
Hello. My name's Christian. I'm playing Arachne. I'm an assassin. I'm killing things. Not very effectively, but I'm trying
Attempting to.
No, he's killed a couple people already.
Yeah,
When an
I mean,
enemy is defeated, does that
you know.
imply that they're dead?
Most, if they're minor, if they have one
Okay.
tassel.
We haven't necessarily like discussed that. We're just like, yeah, they're defeated.
Yeah.
No, they're bleeding out on the sand.
Yes. Yep. Speaking of bleeding out, I don't know why I'm leading in with that, because neither of you two are bleeding out, but Naya, you want to introduce your character next?
Yeah, sure. Fun fact, my character, Sharafel, is not bleeding out,
Not
for those who are wondering. I'm Michael, also known as Mike, also known as Nye, also known as Sunshine. Any name that you hear addressed
Nice.
in this evening that you don't know who it is, probably me, because apparently I have like 19 names.
Yep.
I am playing Sharafel. Sharafel is a mentat, which is like a human who basically is a supercomputer in the world of Dune. I'm just here to run calculations to just make sure everything balances out, cross all our T's, dot all our I's, do all of the fun things that a normal computer would do.
Yeah. Often,
And with that, I will pass it off to Justin.
Hey everybody, I'm Justin, pronouns he, him. I am playing Anna Margrave, Bene Gesserit novice. Probably poorly, but I'm having fun with it. So let's get back in. We just got sandwormed.
yes. The worm is starting to come and arrive. It hasn't reached the camp just yet, unlike the picture that I'm about to show on screen. It's not doing this just yet, but it is on the horizon, coming towards where the spice smugglers were working. Probably attracted due to multiple reasons, including a couple ornithopters landing,
It's a
being
big
blown
worm.
up in combat. So with that, you guys were in the middle of combat, but obviously with the worm on approach, everybody's kind of turning their attention to that. Corbin has yelled it out. Even House Tasit has turned around and realized that a worm is on the way. There are several different things around you, as you probably have observed. There's, of course, the small rock outcropping where the spice smugglers were working. There's the cave system. There's the caves right there where they were storing weapons and spice. There is the ornithopter that's still in operation, run by House Tasit. That's right there. And if you guys remember, there was a rock formation kind of in the distance as you were coming in. But Nye, what were you gonna ask?
In D&D terms,
Yes.
I'd like to do a history check.
Okay, what are you trying to find out?
Basically, like, okay, so these worms can tunnel through sand, right? If I go in a cave, and a cave is presumably rock,
Yes.
do these worms tend to avoid rock formations? Do they just plow right through?
Yeah.
And any like knowledge towards that kind of thing?
Yeah, you definitely don't need to make a skill check or even spend momentum to ask me that. You as a mentat would just kind of know like the power and dimensions of like this worm probably and know what it'd be able to bury through. You know that if you probably took took shelter in the small caves and this small rock outcropping, it would just be able to destroy this rock outcropping. It would not be enough to hold it back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That is just what I wanted to hear.
Yep. You probably communicate that to your party members.
Hey,
well.
hey, Anna. Hey, Anna, guess what? We're fucked.
With the sandworm?
Yeah, we're fucked.
I don't know why.
I ran the math. I did the numbers. We're fucked.
Yeah, I knew that without the math.
I just wanted you to know, like.
Yeah, right. We're mathematically fucked.
Like,
knew that. Got it. Already there.
In case you did it wrong,
the Bene
we're
Gesserit
fucked.
training. Precognition. I knew that. Yeah. I knew you were going to tell me we were fucked. I guess. So this isn't going to do anything. I hold up my little pistol, shoot darts of uselessness. All right. Okay. Think. Okay, wait.
The members of House Tasit start running towards their ornithopter, where the spice smugglers seem to be running across the sand, away from where you guys currently are.
Okay. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Mentat brain, right? Mentat brain. Two options, right? One, ornithopter. Get that ornithopter, get in the air, get the fuck away from this worm, right? Option one. Option two. Worms tracked to rhythmic patterns in the sand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't fucking move. Just fucking stand there. Just don't move. Just stand still. Don't do a thing. Because they're running that way. The other guys are running that way. If we just stand here and are part of the sand, quote unquote, we shouldn't be detectable.
I think that sounds reasonable.
I'm proposing those as two.
I think we should just stand still.
Non-directly harmful options. And even the ornithopter, I have mixed feelings about. So.
No, let's just stay here for a second, and then we'll see what happens. And if they get eaten, maybe we can get to the ornithopter.
So Anna and
wait. Actually, wait a second. What about can I does this count as a new scene?
Yes.
I would like to use my passive scrutiny feature.
Okay.
I get to ask you a question as though I've spent momentum.
Ooh.
To obtain information.
Okay.
And see, I just want to make sure I'm doing this obtain information.
Yeah.
Because it's capitalized.
While you're looking that up, then Christian, what is Arachne doing currently?
I don't know.
That's very reassuring. I'm gonna be honest.
Members of the House Tasit have retreated. They're starting to run back to their ornithopter. And you see the spice smugglers starting to run out to the sand.
Where are we at here?
You could rejoin your other companions if you want to do that.
Yeah. I was trying to think.
Hey, fellow Gribgees, you notice that we're fucked?
Yeah, I think I can regroup with them and see what their their plans are
Okay.
now that everything is just going sideways. And
Okay.
yeah,
Shit. Okay, so those are 2 questions.
Damn it! I want to ask two.
Dude, flip a coin.
I
Just
do.
flip a
I have
coin.
2 good questions because the 2 questions are: does it look like the worm is going to get them? Because the worm has just popped up like what out of nowhere. Is there like a?
It's coming from like the distance in the desert. It's
Yeah,
like heading towards...
before Spencer answers, I think we just see it in the distance.
Yeah.
Like we know it, we hear the
It's
rumble, we know it's coming, kind of thing.
Yeah.
okay. So then I'm going to go with my second question. Does it look like the spice smugglers are going anywhere specific?
Yeah, it does. The rock formation.
And can I tell what that is?
Yeah, it's the rock formation in the distance. This is something you pass. It was the closest like structure nearby that seemed to be pretty sturdy in the distance, and it's much larger than the small rock outcropping where the spice smugglers were kind of gathering their spice. They're running towards that.
Okay.
Corbin Brolic being among them.
All right. I think maybe we should follow the spice smugglers. They look like they're going to that outcropping. I just noticed.
You don't want to follow the Tassets? What could go wrong?
Yeah, I think that we're probably better off not doing that. Look, we needed them out of here. That was really what we needed. We are getting what we needed. Let's just try and get safe. They're retreating. Bottom line, we wanted them out of here. Maybe they'll just, or yeah, actually, maybe yeah. We're on stone, right? The floor of the cave is stone.
Well, if you went back to the cave, you were currently out in kind of like where the tents were in the sand.
Oh, okay. So maybe we should just run to the outcrop anyway.
And Shar kind of told you guys of like this stone means nothing to these to these worms.
Yeah.
The best that and Char is kind of related to this, like the best that we can fucking do is stand still and hope like for the best.
Okay. All right, let's just stand still then.
Well, I mean, in terms of like correction, when I say the best option we can do, I'm not saying it's necessarily the best. I'm saying like in terms of like running arbitrary directions of like running away and stuff, just like the best that we can do is just to not move and let anyone else like attract the worm. Not saying it's a good option. I'm just saying like if the Tassets run, maybe they attract the worm. If we stand here and don't do anything, maybe the worm doesn't detect that we're here. Good option? Probably not. Best option? Maybe.
So while you're having this lengthy discussion and standing in the sand,
while we are
among
standing
these
still
tents,
having this conversation,
the worm approaches ever closer, and you see the Tassets start to take off in their ornithopter. Corbin Brolic, who started to already run a good distance away from you towards the rock formation, turns around and says, "Do you want to get eaten? You better follow us."
That
right,
seems
let's go.
scarily reassuring given the situation.
I like it.
I have no other better solutions.
Okay, so you guys are starting to run with the spice smugglers then?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then that will be a extended test with a requirement of 6 in total, and it's going to be a difficulty 1 move test each time. So just like how we were discussing with the Master Tacit, how you had to get up to 6 each time, basically everybody's going to roll each turn a move test with a difficulty of 1. So everybody go ahead and do that. If you want to spell momentum, you can, but that is a difficulty 1 test right now.
So we just roll 2d20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's for your move. Oh no, for your move and for your It's for your move and whatever drive you want to use. So
Great. It fails no matter what.
Well, move is 5. So again, if I use justice, which is my best of like, I deserve to live, I guess. I passed anything under 13, but I did roll a 20, which is a complication.
yeah. So, since you got a complication,
But
what that is, if we turn to page 153, if you are getting a complication, that's probably going to be exhausted. I think that's the correct one for under move and everything. Which is going to make each test after this a difficulty 2 for you instead of just a
Fucking
difficulty
course.
1. But you can spend let's see here. You can choose to buy it off by adding 2 points of threat to the Game Master pool. If you would like to do that.
that's up to the party. I'm cool with doing that, but that's up to the party. I
Like just
personally, because I don't know
three?
how many of these are going to appear, I'd rather just give them 2 threat and keep it DC 1.
Yeah, I'm okay with going to
make it
two
DC
2 versus 3. Yeah, I'm okay. We have 2. I'm okay with giving him one more than we have.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, thoughts?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
Why not? What's worse that can happen?
Don't say
Christian,
that.
you failed. You failed.
Don't say that.
Yeah. So you're going to be making 3 rolls in total to get the successes you need. So,
Okay.
this
So
was
do
the
we need
first
to roll again?
Yes. So
Wait,
Okay.
we all roll 3 times?
yes.
That's 2.
Great. So you generate an extra momentum, Justin,
I also just got 2.
and another momentum as well.
I also got 2 more fails.
Oh no!
What the fuck?
Oh no. Okay. So
You're gonna get eaten, bro.
based on the last one. So far,
rock cliff that he's on is munch time for the sandworm.
Anna and Shara, you have 4 out of the 6 points towards the requirement because you get 2 points each time you pass towards the requirement of 6. Christian, Arachne has gotten
No,
0
I
out
have
of
all
6.
6. If one success counts as 2 points, I have all 6.
No. It's an extended test. So remember, whenever you pass the extended test, it generates 2 points.
Yeah, so the first test, you got 2 points and 1 momentum.
Yeah. Because you got more successes than you needed.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Got it.
So everybody roll for a 3rd time now.
Okay. I'm good. Because if I use we said tie or under, right?
Yes.
Meter
Is
beat.
safe.
Yep.
If I use
Meter
justice, which is the thing I've been using,
Yep.
I'm good. I've got 2. I'm good.
All right. Well, how many
I
successes?
mean,
Yeah.
I'm screwed no matter what I do.
Oh. So I'll
I
resolve.
can't
Well-
succeed. It's too far gone.
So
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Just roll them.
So
Hold the
roll 'em.
trigger.
You
Yeah,
could get
I can-
you could get 2 1s. You could get 2 1s.
I
I
mean, I need to use all of our momentum to give me. So if I use all our momentum, that's 2 more dice. Well, no, it's all but 1 of our momentum is 2 more dice.
Well, I think this is a group thing. So I don't. I could be wrong, but like I don't think it.
So
I've passed 5 of 6 times. I
just-
think Justin has passed 6 of 6 times.
So
Yeah,
just
I'm the only one that's passed
yeah,
all the
so-
way.
think you need to like use momentum to
You'll be
worry
alright.
about this.
Yeah. And if you die, you die.
I think you need to not have incredible failures, aka nat 20s.
But at this point, I need to use the momentum, right? To be like,
Nah, it'll be alright.
So technically,
I
yeah.
have 5 passes and Justin a 6. I think without knowing all of the mechanics of the game, I think we're good.
Yeah. Technically,
but it's
you wouldn't pass the requirement of 6 because it's individual.
yes.
To reach the safety of rocks, you would have to succeed every single time.
Well,
But you could still try to see if you succeed this one. But
I would need 3 crits. I would need 3 ones.
Alright, well, so let's just
not a
if
total.
you're not just roll
not a
anyway,
total per
and
round
let's just
thing.
see what
Yeah.
happens, Christian.
Like it's
Just roll anyway.
it's
and we'll see what
round
happens.
per round of like each round is DC 1 kind of thing.
Yep.
It's not you can get 3 crits here and pass all of them. Like that's not how it works. It's like
Alright,
each round
well, it doesn't matter.
individually is its own thing.
I failed
You've
all of those as
too,
well.
and I hate to say that, but like critting here does not make you pass all 3.
Exactly.
But
all right, so Spencer, what happens?
So here's what happens. So basically, there's a moment where all 3 of you are running, right? And you see Arachne start to kind of like slow down and trail behind. And you two make it to the rock formation with like enough time, and you look back and you don't see Arachne for a second. And so the worms at this point has reached the spice smugglers camp. It's destroying the outcrop, and it's like weaving through and everything. The house Tasit is taken off in the ornithopter. They've evacuated. So there's this moment where your heart maybe stops because you're not sure where Arachne is, and then you see one hand just like come up over the rock formation, and Arachne pulls himself up while you were able to make it away from the worm. Because you didn't pass the move extended test, you gained the complication exhausted.
Okay. Well,
See? Yeah. You were all scared.
Yeah. And so here's the other thing. Yeah. So there were 4 spice smugglers.
Freedom and death.
Yeah. So there were 4 spice smugglers that were still alive and were running to the rock formation when the sandworm was coming. Corbin Bralick was one of them. If you guys want, it specifically says you can spend 1 momentum to save a non-player character. So if you want to spend any momentum right now to save some of the spice smugglers, you can do so.
No, they're already running. I don't like.
Why are you running?
What?
Why are you
All right. They were loyal to us. I am going to spend a momentum to save. Would you
I don't
like
even
all of them that way?
I guess my logic is like I don't even know if I'm safe. I don't want to spend a momentum to make them quote unquote safe to have the same fate that I have. That I don't know if that's safe.
That's fine. It's fine.
Okay,
I'm sure it's fine.
you do you. I'm not gonna stop you. That's just my logic.
I understand the logic. I'm gonna do this though.
Okay. Are you just saving 1, Justin? Are you saving like
how many are there?
There's 4.
Did we beat them there?
Yes.
You dildos. All right, I'm gonna say Corbin.
How does that work?
All right, so I've removed 1 of your 4 momentum to save Corbin.
Let's see if any of the side characters can make it.
All right, we're only spending 1 momentum to save Corbin. So Corbin makes it to the to the rock formation. You guys pull him up onto the rock. Maybe all of you kind of turn back to look to see if any of the other spice smugglers make it. And as you look back, you can see several of them collapsed in the sand, overcome with heat and exhaustion. And after a few moments, the sandworm cruises through the sand, and they disappear into the sand below.
Ooh,
Sucks to be them.
Oh my gosh.
damn.
So you guys have a moment where you're on this rock formation and you're kind of like
A moment to swallow the reality of life.
yeah.
Of like, fuck, dude, we could just die at any minute.
Yeah. And speaking of dying at any minute, one of you may attempt a discipline test to spot something in this rock formation.
My discipline is quite good.
So is mine.
And I also, when I attempt a mover discipline test, which relies on the control of my body, I may re-roll a single d20.
I don't have that, but I do have good discipline.
What is your discipline?
7.
Oh, yours is better, but I do. My total would be a 14.
If I use justice, my total is a 15. Which, by mathematically mathing the shit out of a d20, is an extra 5%.
That is an extra 5%, but I do get to re-roll.
It is
yes, which I'm
is
not saying is a bad or good thing. I'm just saying I have a 7 plus an 8 is 15.
It's a difficulty 2.
I am very okay with you having the re-roll ability taking over.
I agree with the with the difficulty 2 issue. All right. Oh, fuck me. I'm going to re-roll the 19, I guess. Jesus Christ. Way to fuck the shit.
Oh no.
God damn.
Oh no.
You fucking piece of shit.
Can I assist?
Yes, because because assisting is you just roll 1d20 and if it passes, it adds to the success count, right? So.
Okay. Then I will assist.
And I think it's only one character can assist, right?
Well, that did not help.
Oh my god.
I apologize.
So here's what happens, okay? You guys are in this rock formation. Corbin actually is like has his head kind of down. He's like, if you listen to his words, he's saying something like, "Oh, all of them were so young, 18, 19, young people taking in the prime of their lives." And as he's kind of like taking a moment to like mourn the loss of the other spice smugglers that died to the worm. Here's the thing.
Key part being smuggler.
You don't
just to bring that up as we're mourning their death. Feel it's appropriate.
The Tasit ornithopter flies back towards the rock formation, and you see it kind of like take flight and kind of turns towards your small little group, and it starts to line itself up. It's missile launcher. I'm not sure what kind of like firing system it has, but like its launcher ready to like fire at you. And all of a sudden it feels there was a moment where you could have like maybe seen them, but as if they came out of the rock themselves. What it seems to be a small group of Fremen appear out of the rock formation you're at. And while some of them kind of like don't seem threatening to you, you see one appear on top of this rock formation holding like a large like launching device and shoots at the Tasit ornithopter, blowing it up. And that's like the moment you realizing them. Like they were around you the entire time, but you don't notice them until they reveal themselves when the Tasit ornithopter comes, and then they shoot it down.
You delightfully sneaky desert nomads.
They don't say anything to you right away. They seem to just be kind of like sitting next to the rocks and like waiting. And the one person who had the launcher up at the top starts making their way down to you guys. Would anybody
I
Yes, go ahead.
sheath my blade and do the sand walky thing toward him.
I'm a
Or
computer. I don't
is
say anything. I
is
let
the
someone with emotion deal with this.
is this the? I mean, is the sandwich still around, or did it just like come and
it's
go?
out in the sand, moving about. It's destroying everything that in the rock outcropping.
Oh, then I'm just going to sit on this very safe space and wait for the Fremen to come to me.
Yeah.
Just gonna put my knife away, put my gun down, go crisscross applesauce, and just
Pulls out a cigar. Hey, how you guys doing today?
Oh no, I left the wine back in the cave.
What appears to be the leader comes down to like the solid rock that you're on, and she drops down. She has the launcher flung over her shoulder and walks towards all three of you. She goes, "I am Cadlif. What are you doing here? What brings you here?"
Hello, Cadmus. This deposit of spice was being smuggled out of our territory by this man's crew.
This guy. I don't know. I'm pointing up in Discord or to the side
To the side.
in
Yeah.
Twitch, but this guy
You're pointing
knows
at
what
me.
he's talking about.
Oh, thanks. So, darling, we came to put a quick stop to that. However, there were interlopers. And, unfortunately, they came in and made a big ruckus. Demanded our spice and, well, long story short, you took care of them for us, so I believe our house owes you a debt of gratitude at the end of the day.
Seconded.
Provided you spare our lives.
Yeah. So out of character, Justin, that sounds like you're being like just completely honest with her right now and just explaining everything that happened, right?
Yeah, there's no sense in lying to the Fremen.
Yeah. Okay, great. Why don't you go ahead and give me a communicate test? And can you use your truth drive since you're being truthful right now? I feel like that's the most appropriate drive for this. And it's
do I have to use my truth drive?
Legally.
I think that would be the most appropriate.
Okay.
Unless you have a way to justify another one. The reason why I think truth would be the best is because you are communicating a story full of truth to them.
Okay. Well, here's trying to pass an 11.
Momentum you can use. And because you are telling a completely honest answer, your difficulty is only a 1.
All right, I'm gonna use the momentum. I've had poopy rolls today.
Oh.
It's fine. Like 2 of those are passes, so we're good.
Yeah, they are.
Like I said, I've had poopy rolls today.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the thing. So I'm gonna say, so you got enough successes. You passed. You got 2 successes. There was only a difficulty of 1. You were being honest. You do get a complication.
But I have a complication, though.
You do. You get the complication outsider. You don't really fit here, which I think is appropriate.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
So a lot of these Fremen kind of look at you and they kind of like have a bit of disgust, but because of how well you pass the test, you can clearly see that like they're highly skilled, but they don't feel it's necessarily to do anything with you guys. Cadlif goes, "Huh, an honest tale. We've been watching you since you have arrived. We can't say we really like that you mine your spice here, but we respect those who are truthful. The other house that landed that I destroyed, they were too noisy. They attracted a worm.
Wretched monsters. I agree, darling.
Question.
You look like yes?
I destroyed was a specific part of the phrase that you used. Who is the I in which that pronoun refers to?
Her.
Yes.
Darling.
Who's
the woman in
speaking?
front of us.
So to clarify,
First person singular
your
pronoun,
direct
darling.
action caused the destruction of that ornithopter.
Yes, it was a good thing, darling.
Just no, I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I am clarifying the root cause of the ornithopter's destruction.
I think what my friend means to say is thank you. And we're very grateful indeed.
Yeah. Maybe at this point, Christian, maybe one of the Fremen is kind of like looking at your blades and trying to see like what how they're different from their normal blades and everything. So they're like trying to inspect your gear and such. They're looking at Arachne's knives. Does he have any of the poison capsules like adorned on his cloak or anything like that, or is it all hidden?
Oh, I mean, they're hidden.
Okay.
I mean, like inside. I would imagine inside the cloak. Have like compartments for them.
So, yeah. So you say okay. So you say yes. Cadliff kind of goes, well, I'm glad that you didn't make too much trouble for Shai Halud. Do you need a way back home?
Yes, darling, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
We'll show you the way. You're honest, so we can trust you.
And if you ever need a favor from House Abkrubji, send one of your emissaries and tell them you know honor.
Yes, Nye.
Tell them you said. Tell them
so
I said
obviously,
your
like House of Kribji has like rights to this land or whatever.
Mm.
Historically speaking, have we had any agreements or, in fact, disagreements with the Fremen in our land ownership?
No. So far, there hasn't been any disagreements as far as you're aware of. You're mining a very small, like, isolated part of the desert.
Question though, the Fremen feel they own all of Arrakis and none of Arrakis at the same time, right?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
And I guess that's why I ask if just like not necessarily like do they fight us for the ownership? Do they not fight us? Or just like historically speaking, has there been any conflict between a Kribji and the Fremen over land rights?
Has there been? I mean, like, definitely between the Fremen and the Harkonnen. But with your house's history, is this not their first time mining spice? Has there been other times?
Yeah. No, we're new.
I'm just asking the big questions.
We started small with the black market poison business, and then we graduated to assassins, and we're just reaching out into the spice now that we're big enough to kind of control territory.
I just asked the big questions, man. That's what I'm here for.
No, it's a good question. It's a good question, but I think that's kind of where we're at the house.
Yeah.
Because we talked when we did the setup, and we did the house sheet, right? We talked about how, we did farming first and then cannery. Um, so now we're branching out into the spice trade
Yeah.
because we're already in the black market, so we might as well diversify.
Yeah. Perfect.
But I just wanted to ask: is the questions worth asking?
It is. It is. So this is maybe actually. So this is canonically speaking. This is our first real interaction. This is our first formal interaction
With the Fremen.
with the Fremen.
Yeah.
And they know our house to be truthful, which is cool because now all of the Fremen know that our house is truthful.
Yeah. And with that, we kind of go into the epilogue of this adventure. So if you guys allow them, the Fremen will guide you back to probably like Arrakeen or one of the other major cities, so you can get refitted with a new ornithopter and such. The surviving, so Corbin does pledge himself to your house. He has contacts among the smuggler community, so if there's anything you want to do to like do that, you can obviously kind of pursue those contacts and everything. I like to imagine maybe you also report about House Tasit doing some dirty business. But
yeah, the Bene Gesserit sisterhood knows about this transgression for sure. Also, I buy the Fremen water.
Ooh,
like a bunch of it.
Yeah.
While we're at this like way station.
They don't follow you.
I use all of my money on hand to buy water for the like whatever we don't use in getting back home. Yeah. I use all of it to buy water for them.
I would imagine how that played out is that they don't follow you into the city, but maybe you purchase water and then like leave it out in the desert for them, and then if you're spying long enough, you see them come out and take the water for themselves.
Sweet.
So.
Yes. So now we have good relationships with this with the desert folks.
Yeah. So yeah, and with that, what would all of your characters be doing at the end of this adventure? It sounds like Justin, Anna would be reporting back to the Bene Gesserit.
Yep.
Nye, what would Sharafel be doing?
Probably going with the flow. I mean, if Anna and Arachne think that like working with the smugglers is best, sure.
Yeah.
Probably running calculations like pros, cons, but like right now, pros and cons seem pretty balanced. So.
And Christian, what's Arachne's goals, or what does he plan to do after this adventure?
Arachne is going to connect with his contacts from other houses, other assassins, and hopes to further his cause to become the Abgrudgy house master assassin. So
master. All right.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Great. Well, yeah. We talked about advancement points at the beginning. If you guys were tracking that or anything, if you wanted to spend any of that, you definitely can spend points for an advancement at the end of this adventure. But other than that, that is the quick start adventure. That's Worm Sign of the Dune RPG. So
let's fucking go.
Yeah. It's definitely a different RPG. I'm excited to talk more about that. I think we're gonna do our little outro, take a quick little break, and then come back on stream to do a little post-campaign discussion. If you're watching this on YouTube and stuff, this will probably be a separate video we upload later, so you can tune into that when we post it and everything. But as of right now, let me go ahead and give our attributions. Then we'll take a little break and come back for a post-campaign discussion. So, first off, want to thank Modiphius for making the Dune RPG, Adventures in the Imperium. This is their 2D20 system that they use for a lot of different IPs, and I'm very excited that they just have like a solid Dune RPG book that you can play. Like if you want to hop in and you play some Dune, Here it is. So that's great.
So Spencer, I have a question on Modiphius.
Yeah.
Do the majority of their RPGs use the 2d20 system?
I think so. I'd have to go to their website and double check, but they do a lot of licensed IP RPGs. So I think that does outnumber their other RPGs that they make. But I'd have to
Okay.
double check. I think this is the main system that they use for most of stuff, because they do a lot. They make a lot of the 2d20 system. So
Okay, I just feel like that's worth,
mentioning, yeah.
acknowledging.
Next up, want to thank fun_lucky for namibia the namibia. It's our background. It's the desert background you see. Why am I having such a hard time pronouncing this? Namibia. I can't
What is
say
it?
Namibia. Namibia.
Namiba?
Namiba? Yeah, Namiba. I don't know.
Thank you, Namiba, for
Fun Lucky
putting
is the
up with
artist.
Spencer absolutely butchering your name online. I apologize,
The name of the artist.
but we are so grateful
Thank you.
for everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
The song you're hearing in between our break is called Dune Ambient Cinematic. It's by Clean Mind Souls. Thank you so much, Clean Mind Souls. We've been using Roll20 for our virtual tabletop for all of this, and the wonderful miniature art that we have of all of our different characters. That's what you see in between the breaks, but also when we pulled them on screen. That is done in Hero Forge. Thank you, Hero Forge. That we use you for our animations and stuff like that too. Super great at making cool miniature art and everything. So that's all the attributions I had. Other than that, yeah. So I'm glad I could play with all of you guys. I'm glad we could do this Dune RPG together. So
Yeah. So Modiphius, Modiphius Entertainment. They have quite a few games. Not all of their games are 2d20. It does look like a lot of their kind of like licensed content is though. They do have some board games and some war games and stuff like that. But yeah, they also shout out to Modiphius. The Dune sale is going on right now and ends the 25th. It's 30% off, which I think is a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal.
Yeah. So if you missed the Humble Bundle that they had out, you can still go to Modiphius' site and still get 30% off all their stuff, which is great.
All their Dune stuff until the 25th.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. And with that, let's go ahead and sign off. We'll be back in just a second, and we'll come back and talk more about our post-campaign discussion. Or check out the next video if you're on YouTube. See you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.